No man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
We can overcome any adversary, no matter how bizarre their powers may seem.
Don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
There can be only one.
Welcome everyone to my channel. I'm of course your host tonight, Mike the Totally Fair Judge. We have an awesome stream planned for you all. We got Boutique Battle Bash. This is our third episode here. We are going Vinegar Syndrome against Second Sight. We're going to see what boutique label reigns supreme tonight. And before we bring out these amazing teams competing, let's go ahead and bring out some judges here so you guys know who is voting on this and making all the good decisions. Vinicio, long time no see.
What is going on?
How you been, man?
I've been getting through it, been going through a lot, but I'm surviving, staying positive, and I'm here, man, loving life.
All right, you ready to judge these teams tonight?
Yes, sir. Great, both great labels, great movies. Both of them have released. Some crappy ones on one side, and not a lot of crappy ones on the other side, but a lot of things kind of played. The packaging, everything kind of plays a factor. So yeah, it's going to be a good battle.
Awesome. Then let's go ahead and bring out KB. KB, third time on one of these. How are you feeling out? Oh, you're muted, KB.
You're muted.
I know KB is already going introduction.
You're muted.
There we go.
I was saying you could bring me on to be a judge for each one. I don't care.
All right, so you're ready to judge tonight?
Yes, and despite wearing a Vincent shirt, I'm going to be an impartial judge to everybody. So,
all right, so let's let these teams know what we're kind of looking for tonight, because I think that's important, so they know how they're going to be judged. Vinicio, what are you looking for in particular out of these competitors tonight?
I'm kind of looking for everything, when it comes to packaging, when it comes to the newly commissioned artwork that they have on it. If it has a booklet, if it has a Blu-ray versus DVD or 4K combos, whether the movie's good or not, all these things kind of play a factor with me. So I'm not biased towards one or the other, even though I do have Vinegar Syndrome tattooed on me, but I don't have Second Sight tattooed on me. But I do love both of them a lot. So there's no favoritism here. I'm going by the movie and legit what I think. So yeah.
All right, KB, how about you?
I want to see some good pulls, man. I want to see the classics. We know the hits, but we also want to see some, ooh, I forgot about that. So if they could give us a combination of those two, you might win a round.
Ooh, so you're looking for some surprises right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
that's a professional judge down there.
Well, for me, I'm just looking for, once again, good quality movies, especially when we get into rounds 2 to 4. You better bring the bangers out. You got to have some good movies, because if you pull trash movies, you are not getting my vote, okay? Now, you can do that on round 1, because round 1's packaging. That's fine.
Yeah.
But once you get rounds 2 to 4, I need to see good quality movies, okay?
Bring the heat.
Yep, and also defend your answers out there. Defend your answers, right? Treat this as a WWE match. Defend your choices. That's going to go a long way too. All right, without further ado, let's bring out one of the teams here. Second Sight, of course. Let's introduce Jake. We got Jake in the house. How you feeling, Jake?
Feeling pretty good until all these non-biased judges started popping their heads out. I didn't realize we were Vincent heavy judging panel. My goodness.
All right, and Ken, how we doing out there?
Am I right? We got Vinegar Syndrome t-shirts. We got Vinegar Syndrome tattoos. What's going on here, Mike? What's going on, man?
Well, I don't have a Second Sight tee. If you could hook me up,
You walked us right into the
bring it this way, Kenny. Bring it this way.
Well, Second Sight was actually very confident in the chat, so we'll see if you can back it up tonight.
Still pretty confident.
I'm confident. Confident Second Sight for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nate, how you feeling out there?
Speaking of confidence, absolutely. We're going to win this hands down, despite the biased judges.
And Nathan does not buy.
Nate at the judges. This is not good. I'm going to take a note of this right here.
Nathan only buys quality movies. Okay, that's all.
I also buy
voice, my goodness.
Only good movies.
Well,
all right. Well, let's go ahead and bring out our competing team, Vinegar Syndrome. we got, of course, Brian out there. How you doing, Brian?
Feeling pretty red
yeah.
tonight, you know?
Oh, hell yeah.
Ready to support my vinegar syndrome.
Oh, baby.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
Shut it up.
Uh-oh.
Yo, KB, thanks, bro. I appreciate you.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, dude. Rat Pack Manager, baby. He knows what's up. He knows
I
what's up.
almost wore my
fair,
Red
we
Pack
swear.
Manager t-shirt, but then I saw you were on. I was like, no favoritism, so we wear the same shirt. Great.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, and then we got Aaron. Welcome to the channel again. How do you feel being here?
Good. I mean, this is kind of apropos. This was my Twitter handle for quite a while, Mr. Vincent. So I guess it makes sense.
It all comes back.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we got our amazing teams out here now. Let me just go ahead and remind the audience out there, if you love movies, you know, you have that loving movie syndrome, go ahead and bash that like and subscribe to support the channel, of course. If you like a comment read live, catch our second site with Super Chats, okay? And then if you'd like to help us choose the next Boutique Battle Bash topic, then definitely consider some high-tier memberships out there. But let's check into this audience, see who is joining us tonight. Of course, we got Vin everywhere. The horror trollo is oh wow, sexiest and biggest lover of horror, double positive. JK, I'm in the building. Woo! That's gonna start it off right there. We got Nate in here. Let's see. Doris here. Hola. Any movies in your battle for kids? Probably not tonight, right, guys? Vinegar Syndrome. I don't know. The most kid-friendly second sight. I don't know.
Angel is the closest thing.
Like the movie man's out there. We got Dimension Scott. That's
Drop Dead Fred.
Reaction. Oh, there you go. Drop Dead Fred. That's one I have. We got Mel out there, of course.
Ew.
Melly Mel.
So round one here. Round one is all about packaging, right? The pretty artwork, what we see as a collector, and we need to pick it up. Even if the movie's not great, we just love that cover art in some way. So we got to add it to the collection. That's round one. Once again, round one worth 1 point. So just to kind of get you all warmed up here, okay? All right, well, since Second Sight was very, confident in the chats, maybe we should have them start. So, Nate, you are ready. You're going against Brian here.
Okay.
So, Nate, you got your first pool here, focused on packaging.
Okay. For packaging, there are a couple of things that probably are pretty obvious, but I'm actually, speaking of obvious, gonna go right over here to Picnic at Hanging Rock, which is actually a release I think is commissioned artwork that is absolutely gorgeous, and it comes in these three. There's like 2 books, and then there's also the Blu-ray and the 4K itself, and then the postcards, which comes with every single Second Sight release, which, postcards are postcards. But anyway, this box set is glorious. It's got like some new commissioned artwork here on the discs itself. And then just the packaging itself, it comes with 2 books. Like, one obviously is of the essays that come with it, and of all the different people who are involved in the making of this restoration. And then there's actually the book itself, which many titles do not actually come with books themselves. I know Criterion has also done a version of this, but this is a much better looking one right here. This is just a great movie. If anyone's not seen this movie, Peter Weir, this is one of his best films, I would argue, besides like Walkabout. But this is an incredible film, and nonetheless, but it just has such incredible stuff involved with it that you don't see in many releases anymore. And I think people should read, so that's just how I say it. And it's just a gorgeous piece of work. So that's going to be my choice, even though there's this one right next to me that probably could be there as well. But anyway, that is Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Awesome. And how many books in there? You said 2 books?
2 books. Yep. One
2
that
books?
actually is the book itself, of what this is based off of.
Where the balloons come from?
That's what I thought too.
It's got the magic touch, It's just...
Pennywise all of a sudden.
All right, so we got a couple books. We got some postcards. All right. Brian, can you match the books and postcards?
I don't know if I can match 2 books, but I'll try. We got sidekicks over here. What's probably my favorite VSU. It's got great cover art on the front and the back. You know, it's got the magnetic clasp here. Open that sucker up. There you go. The inside art. Got the pull tab to pull out the slip cover. Got the booklet there. Pretty thick booklet. It's not a fat book like Second Sight's full novels, but you know, it works. You got the front art there, back art there on the slip cover, and the original art on the reverse. And I got your discs as normal. And yeah, pretty much it.
All right.
Standard kind of fare here, but it works. VSU.
There we go. So Picnic at Hanging Rock versus Sidekicks. Teams, do we have anything we want to say before we get to judges voting here?
Nathan's piece belongs in the museum, man. That thing is a beaut.
I mean, you got magnetic strip versus 2 books. I mean,
Well, it's gorgeous. Picnic at Hanging Rock is gorgeous, but so is the Criterion edition of Picnic at Hanging Rock. Whereas Sidekicks, kind of an original on its own.
This is it, baby. This is the
Sidekicks
sidekick.
no one
What do
else
you got?
wanted to release. You're correct.
Oh no,
It's a
everybody was sought
yes,
after.
the Kid
it.
Friendly
So hard
Films
to
in the
get.
chat. So
All right. There we go. Okay. That's what everybody else has to say? All right. Okay. All right. So judges, we're going to vote here at the same time. So we will reveal at the same time on 3. And then we'll go into talking about why we voted the way we did. Just so they know we're not biased out there. Because they think we biased for some reason. I don't know why. All right. Judges, you ready? You got your voting device? Very official voting devices?
Yep.
All right. So on 3. 1, 2, 3, reveal. Well, Second Sight takes it with 2 votes right there. 2
Sorry,
votes
Brian.
from Vin and KB. Well, since I'm the dissenting opinion here, I will justify my answer. I thought the artwork on the Vinegar Syndrome sidekicks looked way better. Like, it was just more colorful, it was more poppy, and it made me want to watch the movie. So I actually did order the movie from Vinegar Syndrome in this last sale they had. And then also you busted out that like magazine booklet with Chuck Norris on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would much rather read that than 2 encyclopedias from the Picnic at Hanging Rock. So more appealing packaging wise for the Vinegar Syndrome pool, in my opinion. But once again, Second Sight takes this. So KB, why'd you go with Second Sight?
For me, it is a step up from the Criterion. So I had that. I didn't know it came with all that stuff too. So the artwork got me, the packaging. Yeah, had that. But yeah, I just like the packaging. It's different. The one thing about Second Sight is each one is going to be different. So I did appreciate that as well.
What about you, Vin? Why'd you go Second Sight?
Yeah, so for me, I am biased in the sense that I don't really like the VSUs. To me, they're too overpriced with movies that I'm not that big a fan of, and they all look exactly the same. I've never even seen that Second Sight one, and that looks way better done than the same exact thing that Vinegar Syndrome does for those VSUs. So I'm gonna go with Second Sight on that one.
All right, so Second Sight in the lead with 1 point. All right, so now we'll go with Vinegar Syndrome starting first here. So, Garrett, we ready?
Oh, baby. Well, you know what? I'm breaking out other VSUs, so people don't like them. I really don't know.
You gotta present your argument. You gotta,
You know,
Do it.
Here's the deal.
Do it.
Here's the deal. We all love movies, right? We all love nostalgia. We love 80s. We love video games, dude. I mean, Cloak and Dagger. Look at this artwork here on here. Freaking 1984 banger of a flick here. Nobody can say otherwise. Look how colorful that is. Boom, the magnet strip. The thing about those Second Sights, though, you know, like they can easily get wet and stuff. This is so protected. Look at, you're gonna open this with a magnet. Look at this. This is some protected stuff. Inside, you got the pull tab. Look at this artwork here. Atari looking artwork. Look at that. Boom. Outside. This looks like a video game, dude. A video game. Look at that with the little price tag on there. It says Vinegar Syndrome $9.97. Inside, you do get more artwork here for Cloak and Dagger. Inside, boom. You get this book, Confidential. Looks like a little directions or like what you would get inside like a video game here, but it's got all these cool artworks from the movie. It's got pictures there. Look at that. Man, Henry Thomas. Look at this. This thing is loaded with stuff here on this release. I mean, what a banger of a release. You open this up, game over. That's what I feel like this round's going to be with me and Kenny right now. This is already game over.
First of all, Henry Thomas has done much
Cloak
better
and Dagger
films.
release. I mean, you could only get this on DVD. This is the one to get right here. Classic. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
All right, Ken, is it game over?
It's game over, man. Game over. No, look, I'm pulling the ultimate out. I'm pulling that other one that Nathan was alluding to, right behind Picnic and Hanging Rock. You said Drive on 4K. Look at this monstrous box set. Also, complete with 2 books. You have the novelization of the film right here. You've got another encyclopedia. Mike, I know you're not a fan of reading or encyclopedias, but here you go.
Hardcover.
It's got the hammer on it.
Hardcover.
Look at that. It's got it's hardcover, hard book. You got a soft paperback book, car on it. And look, it's not flashy like the Vinegar Syndrome. It doesn't, have artwork that looks like it was drawn by my 10-year-old with crayons and stuff. But I enjoy it. It's nice. The scorpion that says so much about the film without saying too much about the film. You have the information on the back right there, which is always nice instead of a J card. So, yeah, great stuff. Drive box sets.
Here's the deal, though. If that's such the legit edition, then why did you go buy the Steelbook a couple weeks ago?
I didn't.
So I mean, everybody's buying the Steelbook now.
I
If
did
that's
not- I
the
did not
edition
buy
to
the
have,
Steelbook.
then
I did not
why
buy
are
the
we all
Steelbook.
buying the Steelbook now?
I did not buy
I'm
the
not going to
Steelbook.
buy the Steelbook.
Why are you coming at me saying I bought this? I didn't buy the Steelbook.
I would like this.
I think
Go
we
back and look
got to
at-
scope
go back and look at
Kenny's
my
IG
feed.
and see
Go
if
back
there's
and look at my
any
feed and see if
Steelbook
there's
or
a
Drive
share coming
4K
up.
out there.
Look,
I mean, I only had Drive like 3 other editions before that came out. So I mean,
I just had the
and then
Blu-ray.
plus another one came out. So we got 4 editions
And-
plus a second site. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and this movie's just fantastic. Fantastic
movie.
film.
Of course.
Fantastic.
But
film.
the
Directed
movie
by
doesn't
Nicholas
mean
Winding
anything
Refn.
on
It's
this
got
round.
2 discs.
Yep.
It's got the Blu-ray and it's got the 4K. So
A little simplistic.
I don't know.
For my taste.
I
got
like
you.
the VSU.
Look, everybody was
tab, we got
freaking
stuff
out when
out.
this was announced. It was the hot item
Drive was great.
Drive.
The
One of
pull tabs
best-
on
one of the best
VSU,
box sets.
they always drive me nuts. It's just like an extra element to get the stuff out. I love the side loading part of that box. It's just easy to grab
It's
whatever
got
you
the
need.
pink on the side.
Nice
Looks
and great.
great. Looks fantastic. Look at that.
Looks like your background.
Garrett, can you see
Garrett.
that?
Yeah.
It,
Oh,
does,
I've
it
got
looks
that. I've
really
got that.
rad.
I'm just,
Look at
I've
that.
got it.
That's
I'm just
very
saying.
rad.
I'm just
I
saying
did
it's
not
super
notice
rad.
how rad
but
that looked until just now.
I just don't think people appreciate it. I mean, people are already in the chat saying they want the Steelbook now. I mean, how great can that be if people still want more
Did you
editions of that
see-
movie? That should be the
Did you
end
see
all
the
be
pink-
all of that edition.
Did you see the pink behind the scorpion, Garrett?
Oh man, I've seen it.
Did you see that?
I got it, dude.
I feel like the second sight things are so big that they might be overcompensating for something else.
Yeah.
No,
Now when the
absolutely
movies
not.
are this great.
The movie's great. The transfer
Actually-
is one of the best I've ever seen,
Agreed.
hands down. Great features, but we're not talking about that here.
Right.
So
All right. All right, judges, we got enough to vote with? All right. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Kenny, you shot your wad too
Boom!
early.
Boom!
You shot your wad
Boom!
too early. Come on. You got a movie that has excellent packaging, excellent transfer, excellent special features. That should have been the home run at the end.
no, there's
Shot
plenty
your wad
others.
too
That's the
early.
thing about Second Sight. Like there's
I want to see
endless
what you're going to
amounts
come
of
with
releases
at the end,
that have that.
because I told myself before, whoever holds up Drive got my vote, but not in the first round, dude. It's too early. It's too early.
And
I
see,
love you like I like cake, but too early.
and see, for me, that VSU of Cloak and Dagger is the only one that, I mean, man, that, if anybody knows me or my channel, they know that I like retro gaming, so I have a lot of arcades and stuff like that. That one, I mean, details that they went with that was just incredible. Just like I was saying, inside looking like an Atari, everything is just incredible. And don't get me wrong, the movie Drive is good and all, but I feel like the packaging does look a little basic on that one. It does look pretty and nice, but they didn't put too much effort into it. But they did make it look nice, I feel like, on the outside packaging. It is cool that they have the books inside there, even though I would never read the transcripts of the movie, things like that. But it is cool. But yeah, I'm Vinegar Syndrome on this one all the way.
Yeah, and this is my first VSU, so nostalgia there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was a tough decision for me. A little bit closer than the last one, but once again, Drive, very basic. There's like a scorpion on there that it doesn't even tell me much about the movie. I need the packaging to scream something about the movie to make me enticed to pick it up, and Cloak and Dagger did that. Simple as that.
You got beautiful Ryan Gosling. He's not even pictured on the cover at all. Like, come on.
Yeah, the steelbook looks.
He's on the
more
steelbook.
appealing, you could argue.
All right.
All right. You're a flashy crowd. I get it.
You better bring some heat later, Ken. I'm relying on you.
All right, so we're back to second sight here. Jake, you ready?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Second Sight's been around for a long time. I don't know if that's known around here. It's been around since 1994. So they have a wide variety of releases to choose from. A lot of people are just kind of focusing in on them for the past like 3-4 years. I go a little bit deeper. That's when they were a little bit more different with their packaging as well. One type of packaging that Vinegar Syndrome has not made yet is a steelbook. Imagine that. Imagine that, folks. I know my favorite physical media release of this year is this movie, but before then, I was okay enough to have this copy as the definitive edition of Super Mario Brothers.
Ooh.
Look at this steelbook, folks. The artwork absolutely pops on this sucker. Love it so much. You open it up, it's one continuous scene on the front and back right here. Just looks so very nice. I love that original artwork on there. And on the inside, you got the classic scene of the Goombas in the elevator, just getting kind of swung to sleep. I wish Second Sight would go back to steelbooks because I have a few of them and they are all absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's crazy that Umbrella did the box that they did for Super Mario Brothers. But like I said, with special features and everything and packaging alone on this sucker, I was A-okay to have this as my definitive edition of this movie.
All right. It's like nobody's saying anything. They're like, just.
That's a good
I've never seen it. That's pretty cool. I've never seen it.
Goombas in the elevator, mic drop. Mic drop.
I know, no one's speaking. I'm like, are you thinking, oh my gosh, what did he just pull right now?
I do own that steelbook. That's the banger of a steelbook.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I've never seen that one before.
All right. Well, Cult of the Cinema. What do we got?
Well, it was good that he went back to the old school stuff because I did too. I'm also old school when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome. And aside from just good packaging, which this really is, there's an authenticity to it that kind of fits with the old school style of your collector, especially if you're an old school collector like me. See, when Demon Wind came out on VHS, it had this really cool lenticular cover. And I haven't seen any company, aside from Vinegar Syndrome, really get the lenticular covers just chef's kiss right. This is a crazy movie. It is like Evil Dead on acid. But movie aside, we're talking packaging now. And this doesn't just get the packaging and the lenticular right. It gets it out of the park right. It brings you back to those days of going into a video store and seeing those really kind of catch your eye titles. And this really catches your eye. They did Jack Frost too, and I thought we'd bring that one out. But there's just something special about this one. I remember getting the VHS of this one in the store. And I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome go back to some of these lenticular packages because they're just beautiful. I love these things.
All right. How does the inside look? Can you show off the inside for us?
Well, of course. So I got them put here like this, but there is the alternate artworks, which is just the kind of the old school look for the different ones. So it's really kind of just giving you the idea what lenticular is going to be like. It's early stuff, so it's Blu-ray and DVD, as opposed to like nowadays. Everything's either just Blu-ray or 4K now when you talk about it. But it really is like I'm an old school fan. I still collect VHS. And when I find something like this that gives me that feeling of that old school collecting again, there's nothing like it. There's like that shot of like like adrenaline that you get when you find something that gives you that feeling again. And this gives me that feeling. This gives me that old school feeling. And come on.
Speaking
You
of
can
old
put-
school feeling,
there's lots of steelbooks, but not a lot of steelbooks do this.
but this has like old school artwork postered on top of it.
And here's the thing: that is a wonderful steelbook of Super Mario Brothers. There's also a wonderful umbrella of Super Mario Brothers. But this is 100% the definitive Demon Wind.
Because no one else wants to put these movies out. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome is like their own beast.
If they didn't want to put them out, MVD Rewind when we picked them up when Vinegar Syndrome drops. Just saying.
No, Demon Wind's good a movie, man. That's
a fun
cool
one.
movie. Yeah,
it's fun as hell.
Kung Fu Magician. What do you
I
think?
should just got Demon Wind. It's right over here.
Lenticular.
You kind of wish you had the lenticular slip though now.
I do, but you know
Yeah,
what?
I knew
got
he's
that for
changing
12
teams,
bucks.
baby.
It's
Look at
fine.
him.
It's fine. It's fine. But I am
He's
excited to check
turning.
it out based on his description of the movie.
All right. All right, judges, getting our votes ready. This was a tough one. I will say this was a tough choice here. All right, ready,
for me.
judges? 1, 2, 3, reveal. Ooh, two Vinegar Syndrome.
I'll just say I've never seen that steelbook before, so kudos, Jake. But yeah, I don't care about definitive and not definitive and all that. It's more about, in this round at least, the packaging. And I love that continuous artwork, and that thing is beautiful. So
It's a beaut, man. Yeah, it came out in like 2017. Mm-hmm.
nice. But
Yeah, honestly, honestly, if it wasn't Demon Wind, that steelbook would have won, because that is a beautiful, beautiful steelbook. But my heart, I love Demon Wind with all my heart. I just actually sold it because I had to get rid of my collection the other day, and that one hurt really bad my heart, because I love that movie and everything about the packaging, everything. When I remember purchasing it when I got it, and I just remember being in just such awe looking at that thing for so long. And it's funny you say too that it reminds you of the nostalgia thing, because another movie that did that for me was Dead Pit. I remember having the VHS of Dead Pit when I was a kid, and that one had the little button with the eyes that blink. So I thought that Dark Force was going to do that, but they didn't end up going through with it. But I had that feeling with that one as well. So I get what you're saying. I am Demon Wind all the way. I love that movie.
Yeah, this was a tough choice for me. Very tough. I did like the steelbook for Super Mario Brothers. I thought the outside looked really cool, but the inside was a little boring for me. But that lenticular, oh my gosh, that made me want to pick up that movie. And then also what was said about that nostalgia, oh, that was taking me back to the collecting blockbuster days. I'm like, you transported me in time. So because of that, I had to give the edge, the Vinegar Syndrome there. All right, like I said, you got to defend your answers out there, people. All right.
That was an amazing pick. I love Demon Wind.
All right. So after round one, we have Second Sight with 1 and Vinegar Syndrome in the lead with 2. But it can change now, because now we're getting to round 2. Round 2, all about the disc itself. So quality of the disc, the movie, special features, audio tracks, you name it. You can talk about it here with the disc. So the packaging no longer matters. It's just about the disc itself. But yeah, let's go ahead and switch up the order here. That way we have some new competitors. Yes. All right. So everybody playing someone. Oh, wait, let's switch right here again. Right there. There we go. There we go. So all new competitors here. All right, Ken. You ready to redeem yourself? And this round is worth
Yes, I have to.
people 2 points each time. Okay.
More balloons.
I know. I don't know why.
They stole my balloons.
I don't know why. That's how it goes. But it's a party. It's a celebration. We're celebrating the movies we love out here tonight. That's why we gotta have a party.
They all float.
All right, Ken. What are you thinking now?
All right, now what's the round? What's the topic?
Disc. Everything about the disc.
Everything about the movie, the special features, the transfer.
Mhm.
Well,
Right.
I honestly don't think, and I was super excited when they announced this. I don't think it gets any better than this movie. This is my favorite horror film of probably the 21st century, and that's The Witch from Second Sight. And this was a phenomenal release. The transfer was fantastic. Yes, there was already a 4K, but this looked so much better than the 4K from Lionsgate. And they had great special features on this. They had the entire main cast do interviews for this. They had Anya Taylor-Joy, and she's like super popular now. Like she's in big movies. So the fact that they got her to come back and talk about this film was super cool. They got, I think it's Ralph Ineson. Is that how you pronounce his name? He did an interview as well. You have the director, Robert Eggers, did a lengthy interview as well. So the interviews in this were absolutely fantastic. The transfer was fantastic, and this movie's phenomenal. Yeah. It's my favorite A24 film, and it's my favorite horror movie of this century. I love it. So super excited to have this. And I think as for the disc itself and what's on it, I would put this up against anything that Vinegar Syndrome has ever done. So.
All right. Anybody have anything to say to that?
It's a powerhouse of a release for sure. The transfer on that sucker is phenomenal, especially if you have the right setup with an OLED and a 4K player. That sucker absolutely sings. Dark scenes are like one of the hardest things to pull off, and that does it in spades. It's great.
No, it is definitely the improvement from the other 4K that you had mentioned. And then also,
yeah,
to echo what you said, Ken, it's my favorite horror film as well. I mean, I even have a Black Phillip tattoo on my calf. So,
ooh, tattoos, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that is cool.
And this was approved by the director, whereas the Lionsgate one was not.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Brian, can you match a tattoo?
We'll see. We'll try. So my release is going to be H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond, Stuart Gordon, Brian Usna mashup here. I love this movie with all my heart. It's a great one. Got Ken Foree, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton in here. The effects are amazing. This transfer is outstanding. The best the film has ever looked. Those neon colors just pop. The extras on this thing are way better than the Scream Factory that ever had. It's got a whole 97-minute extra documentary on here with all the actors in here, all the creators of the film. That alone, just a feature-length documentary like that, just always wins me over with the Vinegar Syndrome releases when they do that type of stuff. It's a 3-disc set. You got a 4K and 2 Blu-rays in this sucker, and it's just loaded. It's got like more extras than an Arrow Blu-ray does on this sucker, and great artwork. It's got the swing tray flip, going on. Awesome back artwork too. It's just one of my all-time favorite movies. So I don't know. It's not as flashy as The Witch with its extra books and stuff. I do like that packaging on The Witch set. It is a great set, but this overall, just one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases they've ever done. I just love it.
And Brian, how is the movie? Because I have not heard of that movie before.
Oh, it's great. If you like movies like Reanimator and you can stand a little bit of gore, it's just got some really cool, like, gross out effects in here. The practical effects are outstanding, especially whenever he's got the penile gland thing going through his forehead. You'll know when you see it. It's a crazy movie, though. It's definitely one.
Barbara Crampton looked.
I was about to say, can't be Barbara Crampton.
Another short run time. I know The Witch.
Hold on now, you horn dogs. Okay.
Garrett knows.
I get blinded by Barbara
Crampton.
I just want KB to remember that we saw this together. So just
yeah,
but not the Vinegar Syndrome version.
No,
we did.
4K beats Anya Taylor-Joy in 4K any day.
I'd agree with you there.
Oh yeah, you got like Barbara Crampton. You got the man Ken Foree in this as well.
Yeah, Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead. Yep.
And KB, remember we watched it with Barbara Crampton too. Don't forget that. Okay.
I am well aware.
Trying to buy the judge.
Drink with her right after.
From Beyond is a fun movie. It's not genre defining though, like The Witch is. Just my opinion.
Right. Different opinions.
All right, this is going to be interesting. All right, judges, we got an answer.
This is a hard one.
This is a hard one. Took me a little bit of contemplating.
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Sorry, Brian.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, man. For me personally, I was irritated that they released From Beyond because I already had it, but I'm not into the upgrading thing like that. But that thing is they have so many different things on there that it would be worth it to upgrade. And honestly, me personally, I feel like Vinegar Syndrome's transfers are always. I mean, they're kind of unbeatable. That one really is close though, bro. The Witch, man, that thing is beautiful, and I was really on the fence with that. I know that thing is stacked too. That has a whole bunch of information. The transfer is amazing. So that one, I really apologize because I was on the fence, man. But I gotta say,
Yeah,
yes.
and Kenny, that was the 4K that we saw. It was the 4K of From Beyond.
Okay,
that we
okay.
saw.
I got you.
It was it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And y'all saw it on the big screen?
Mm-hmm. With features and everything, but this is like my favorite second.
For the record, I do love From Beyond.
Those are both two
And
really good
that's
releases.
phenomenal.
That was a hard round.
That documentary
was hard.
fantastic.
That was hard.
Yeah, I've only seen one of the movies, The Witch, so I kind of had to go with that one. Really great movie, though. So, all right, let's see. Jake, not Jake yet. No, because Ken went first last time. So let's go, Garrett. Garrett, you ready?
Yeah. Kind of piggybacking a little bit off Brian, just as far as, when it comes to specific movies that Vinegar Syndrome does and does really well, they're not always flashy. They kind of have specific lines that they do that for, like things like the VSU or, the VSAs. So this one is just more or less a standard slip. But I think this is also a movie too that for whatever reason, I feel like was a classic when it came to horror, like an absolute classic movie in horror. And over the last couple of years, I feel like people have kind of turned their noses to this a little bit. And I'm here to kind of tell you, I don't understand why. Because to me, this is still an all-time classic. And that's 1979's Amityville Horror. And this is the 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, which looks the best it's ever looked. I mean, this dwarfs that Scream Factory one. Now, I know it recently just came out again. I don't know what company did it, because to me, this is the only edition I need at this point. So this totally dwarfs that Scream Factory one. And it's got, it's 2 discs, and it's got a boatload of new features on here. I mean, there's like Brian said, there's a making of documentary, and I'm a big sucker for those things. And a couple of the things that this has as well is, like, obviously it's a brand new scan, 4K Ultra, like high dynamic range. You got, it's newly scanned, and then it's also got like a new unaltered, like, theatrical sound mix that I don't think was on any other edition ever. So again, I think this is just, as far as movie, I don't know why I feel like this one is just not as loved as it once was when it came to classic horror movies. But I mean, if you haven't seen this in a while, this is the edition to get, no doubt. And that is going to be Amityville Horror from Vinegar Syndrome 1979.
They need to do that part 2.
They definitely do. I think that they should probably grab those 3 and put them in a little set and kind of match the other thing that they did. But yeah, this is a great addition.
All right. Anybody have anything to say about that movie? I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
You've never seen that movie? Oh, dude.
I've not seen that movie.
Yeah, I love the first Amityville.
It's about the only thing.
Yeah, I think everyone still needs to see it, Mike.
Yeah, I need to watch it. But you said it also just got released by, was it Scream Factory?
Somebody put it out overseas.
I think it was 88
right?
Films.
88
films.
Mm.
Yeah. I think.
All right. Jake, what do you got?
Okay. Well, I guess we're talking horror classics this round, because I have a very definitive movie. This movie was a classic the minute it was released. This is George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And if we're talking specifically with discs, dear Lord, you have your pick of the litter with whatever transfers you want to watch. There's 4 discs total. 3 are just different cuts of the movie, because they didn't want to trim down on how great this 4K transfer looks. You can have the director's cut. You can have the theatrical cut. You can have the Argento cut. And then at the very end back here, you have a whole disc full of special features. Myself, Garrett, I also love a good making of documentary. This sucker has 2. It's got 2 making of documentary. It's got Document of the Dead, and it's got The Dead Will Walk. Both are longer than an hour. It has a lot of new interviews filmed specifically for this release. I mean, this sucker is the definitive edition of Dawn of the Dead, and I'm very happy to have it in the collection because I love this movie, and nothing can get better than this release. It really can't.
Also hard to find here in the States.
It sure is.
I just sold mine.
So what is the difference between that set and the huge one?
The other one has the CDs, the music, soundtracks.
Yeah.
Oh, that big boy. Okay, because that's the one I have, and I didn't know what was in that one.
The books too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you have a book.
Okay.
All right. Well, I haven't seen either of the movies, so.
Holy cheese, Mike.
Wait, you said you've never seen either one of those?
No.
Stop watching Mortal Kombat over and over and watch some other
Mike!
movies.
Mortal Kombat 95 is so good.
He's just being a totally fair judge
Go
here.
on to
Okay?
Howard the Duck.
Oh, Howard the Duck's so good, though.
Howard the Duck.
We need to get a nice boutique label release of Howard the Duck. That's what Vinegar Syndrome should do next, right there.
That'd be a VSU to
It's
80
universal.
pages right there.
It's possible.
VSU.
I'd be down with that VSU, 100%.
I think Arrow could maybe do it. It's universal.
Didn't Shout Factory release it?
No,
It got released in
no.
like I have a 4K steelbook, which is actually a nice looking steelbook.
That 4K though for Howard the Duck like is freaking spectacular. It looked great.
Especially the back.
Who released that?
Yeah. The duck boobs in 4K.
Yeah.
That 4K looks great, though. That
Phenomenal.
4K is really good. Yeah.
Thanks, Ken.
All right. So, anybody else have anything to say about Dawn of the Dead or the Amityville Horror?
Two
All right.
classics.
All right. Your last chance, people. Last chance. All right. Ready, judges?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, reveal.
Damn it, Jake. You got me going against my boy G Money.
Damn it.
I pulled it. I pulled it, though.
You know-
I had it right here, but you pulled this. The amount of cuts on this thing alone.
Insane. Mhm.
And each one looks like the perfect transfer for each movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? The con cut? The one that they were saying that Argento probably did? Yeah.
they're good.
That one is just unbelievable for something that they stitched together. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, with Amityville Horror is an amazing movie. I actually like part 2 better, but part 1's still 4.5. But that transfer on that does look amazing. They do have awesome stuff. I love the making of because I always wanted to do special effects when I was a little younger kid. So I always love those behind the scenes things. But man, Dawn of the Dead, for how many discs they have, I didn't even know they had that many different cuts of the film until that thing was released. I heard about some of them, but not all of those. So I mean, that was just a mind blow to me because that is my favorite zombie movie ever made. So yeah, I gotta go second sight on that one.
I love
Yeah,
you,
you
G.
guys told me with the different cuts of the movie, the making of. I love making of, so made me want to have that set one of these days. All right,
Hard
maybe
to
they'll
find.
release like a steelbook of it later. Who knows? All right, let's go. We're now to Nate.
Okay. I actually saved the best for last. I think in terms of Second Sight, I think this is probably the best thing they've ever put out, and it's right up here. It's called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This thing right here, if you want to talk about special features and the amount of stuff that they put into this and the level of care and like amount of time they put into this, we can talk about the Hitcher if we want and how much time they've been spending on that. But this right here is probably the definitive Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a glorious 4K. It looks amazing on this. They did a new, I think, HDR produced by them with Dolby Vision. Has 5 commentaries on it, which is kind of absurd. It also has like boatloads of special features. My favorite personally is the Legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a really feature-length documentary on kind of what this movie has produced in the future of all the the different types of horror that it inspired, then also all of the different sequels that exists. But like this is the definitive edition of this thing. Obviously, we're not looking at necessarily the inside of this or like the products itself, but it comes with a nice hardcover book, which has a bunch of really sweet essays in it as well, with all of the animals that are on the wall of this lovely fella right here. And then we also have, the discs themselves, which actually comes in, I think, a 3-disc set right here, which has the 4K itself, the Blu-ray, and then the extra special feature disc that has so many things on it.
Love that artwork too on the disc.
And the artwork on this
fantastic.
is insane. And then the artwork on the back, of course, is great too. Yeah, this movie. I mean, I mentioned The Hitcher earlier, with them taking their time, and actually, that's the other thing that it's not going to be in a category here necessarily, but the thing that I love about Second Sight the most is they really do take their time with things to get it right, and they haven't hiccuped very often, if any. And this is one of the things that they've done that really, really well. So this is an incredible film.
All right, I've seen that movie. Yay!
Toby Hooper looks great
right.
too. Looks amazing for a movie that you wouldn't expect to be on 4K.
Okay, Aaron, what are you thinking? How can you combat that?
Well, one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my favorite movies of all time. And before I show my choice, because I'm going in a completely different direction with classics, I'm not doing that. Let me retort with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because one sec.
Oh baby,
he's got a chainsaw.
Oh baby.
Oh, is this allowed? Is this allowed?
He's going to get TCM too, isn't it?
Another face off would be good.
Oh yeah, good Black Maria set. Hell yeah.
Black Maria set from Dark Sky, who's now putting out a big, massive set of it with tons of special features, and I even got like a apron, a bloody apron for my Texas Chainsaw Massacre outfit. But I went in a completely different direction. I didn't pick out a classic film. I went on special features and something that you're not going to find anywhere else. And one of the arguments about this will always be because nobody else is going to want to put it out, right? Well, that's one of the neat things about Vinegar Syndrome, right? Is they put out things that nobody else is putting out. I love Dawn of the Dead. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Witch is a fantastic film. They're also really predictable. Spookies isn't.
Oh baby.
Spookies is one of the best releases that they put out, especially special feature wise. You see, Spookies is one of these films that was absolutely frigging insane. It took two separate visions to make this unusual, strange film. And there is a feature-length documentary about the insanity behind the making of the film. And I will tell you right now, the insanity behind the making of Spookies is just as interesting and sometimes more interesting than the film itself. And they could have left it there with, did some interviews, put that documentary on there, but they didn't. They one-upped it again. Because you see, with this one right here, there's also a second feature-length documentary on here. They did the documentary for, and I got to make sure I get it right, for Vipco. So Vipco is this company in the UK that put out a lot of the video nasties on VHS. And it's an absolutely, utterly fascinating documentary put onto this set. So you get the film, you get a documentary behind the absolute insanity that is the making of this film. And then you get the second documentary that really gives you this, not just the feel of this film itself, but that era, that video nasties era that gets talked about and just mentioned so much. How many documentaries have we seen come out on the video nasties? And this one here takes that with the Vipco spin on it and puts a completely new look into it that we'd never seen before. Feature after feature. This, by the way, this is one of two slipcovers because this actually had two slipcovers with it. The alternate artwork right here is the other. That's the other slipcover. Actually, one of my viewers sent me the other slipcover because I only managed to get one. It was again a fantastic. It's a Blu-ray DVD release. I didn't want to go for 4K. I didn't want to go for a classic. I could have chose like Fade to Black or something like that, but this one is just a very special package. You get a lot of stuff out there. That's just a wonderful film, but you can watch this and you can watch the documentary. And trust me, I've watched the documentaries on here way more times than I'm willing to admit. But it is absolutely fantastic. And if you've never seen it, if you guys have never picked this up, so Mike, you haven't seen this one?
I've never even heard of this one.
The documentaries themselves, you might watch the movie a couple of times because it is cheesy. It is fun. There's one part of this film here, just to give you an idea, where they cheaped out on like some of the special effects, right? So they're running out of the house and they're ducking down, and they're ducking down to nothing because they said, we don't have the money to put those effects in there. And that story and like the whole craziness behind it is explained in this 2-hour long documentary. And to have that, and to have the VIPCO documentary, if you're a fan of video nasty, if you're a fan of cinema, if you're a fan of collecting, you got to pick this up.
Are you a salesman for Vinegar Syndrome down there, or what? You're selling the hell out of
I used to get
spookies, man.
told that,
It's
you know. I'm
spookies.
sure. They used
This
to put
also
it, like,
has 2 documentaries, by the
It
way.
does. I was going to get to some of the special features on this release too, because not only does it have 2 feature-length documentaries, it also has about double-digit interviews on here. It has some old school trailers and outtakes, deleted scenes, all that fun stuff. I'm a fan of the special features and specifically the making of docs as well. This one has one that was imported from a previous release, that Shocking Tales, the Shocking Truth documentary about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very classic release there.
It's a good documentary.
But here's the thing I'm going to piggyback on Aaron about is that, you know, even when it comes to Dawn of the Dead, even when it comes to Texas Chainsaw, I own that movie. Like Texas Chainsaw, I must have 10 copies of that movie. Like you said, I got the Black Maria box. I've got, you know, the Steelbook that just came out. I got that one. I mean, everything's been done. Dawn of the Dead, like that same edition you have. I have the 4K one. That was they had a DVD that was basically the exact carbon copy, that Ultimate Edition. But Spookies, the only way you can ever see that, and it was so sought after for so long because you couldn't get it at all until this release. And this is the other slipcover that he was talking about right here. So again, this is it. If you want to see this movie, you have to get this edition right here. There's no other way to do it. So I mean, I just piggybacking on that when it comes to, you know, the difference between Vinegar Syndrome and Second Sight. They do a great job. I love it, but it's a lot of it's just safe bets. I mean, besides Hitcher, right? Hitcher was a kind of a different one because that's been sought after for so long. But more or less, like the reason I don't upgrade all my stuff is I have all those Second Sight movies. Your Next, Green Room, like I've got all that stuff. So if I want to get Spookies, my only choice is to get something like this. So
normally I would agree with you on the double dipping aspect. The reason why I love Second Sight so much is because their 4K transfers are second to none. They look amazing. There was another 4K transfer from Dark Sky Films of Texas Chainsaw, and they're 2 completely different versions of the film. Doesn't matter which one you pick up. One is super grainy, one is super just sharp. And I prefer the Second Sight edition of Texas Chainsaw better than the Dark Sky one. Sure, there are a bunch of different versions of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There should be. It's an amazing classic movie. This round is best disc, and I think that this is the best possible version you can pick up of this movie.
And just because, you know, The Witch and Green Room and Possessor have Blu-rays doesn't mean that they don't deserve the same level of treatment as some of these other, you know, classic films from the 80s.
Oh, it's just different. It's just a different, I think when it comes to that, it's just a different business model, right? Very
I
different.
like to think of it as preservation too for physical media.
I like the fact that I've got a plain Blu-ray of Your Next, and now I can own a super cool edition of a movie that I've loved since it came out. Like I like that I have that option. So I think that that's what Second Sight has really started to hone into. Is those?
It really is a fantastic option to have. I still think film over format when it comes to like when you're collecting, but I gotta ask, which Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the more grainy one? Because that's kind of the one I want, because I want it to like feel like a VHS.
The Dark Sky.
The Dark Sky is the
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got
so
that one
expensive
for
though.
that reason.
You say that. I did a comparison video, an episode of my podcast with Jeff from Films at Home, and we kind of talked about the comparison of both of them. And I thought I was going to fall in the grainy camp. I was kind of shocked. I liked how sharp of an image that Texas Chainsaw looked, just because you can see how visceral everything is a lot
It's a
clearer.
beautiful movie.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
So many great shots.
It's just certain films I need that graininess. Like I'm considering not upgrading to Blair Witch because there's no reason for that movie to be that sharp and that clear. Even though Ed Sanchez told me about it like earlier this year, and I was like, "Ooh."
Well, it's supposed to have a completely like different look to it.
In a different cut of the film, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From
It's
the
not
OPM.
in. That one's not in 4K either.
No, it's just a Blu-ray.
No, it's just a
Well, I
Blu-ray.
just go back. For me personally, I just go back to the level of time they put into, like, again, like the Hitcher is a good example. Is like it's like they really do like put a lot of effort in terms of like, and they only put out 2 films a month, maybe, or maybe 1. That's the other thing. That's not another thing we're not going to really talk about much in this. But that's something that I think volume, as somebody who wants to save money, I think I'm going to pick something like this personally.
Well, to be fair, some of their copies releases are kind of expensive, so it's like,
yeah,
you know,
but I'm saying like I'm getting at like I can keep up with this company more than I could keep up with Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. Vincent and OCN, they come out with so many releases every month. They just poop out discs and wipe them up with a slipcover to make it look nice and keep on pumping out movies because they just got to milk the teat of their customer for sure.
Ken, did you end up doing a subscription?
I do like
for
that movie,
Vincent?
Aaron.
Mm-mm.
You were thinking about it though, right? You're on the
I
fence about
was.
it?
I might at some point. I don't know. I'd
Yeah.
rather just pick and choose, I guess.
Same.
All right. Wow. Great arguments on both sides there. All right, judges. Ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, reveal. Second side.
no documentary.
Great argument.
That was an
Aaron,
uphill battle.
That was a good.
for sure.
I love that one. Good choice.
I've never seen Spookies. You really make me want to watch Spookies now.
Same.
And
It's
I've
fun.
never heard
No
a
one
compelling
says-
argument for
it's
that
fun.
movie. Yeah. Okay.
Got to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I used to have on VHS when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time, and I don't mind it being upgraded. But how many times they're doing it is absolutely ridiculous. I want to find that reel and just throw it into the ocean so they can just stop redoing it. And a lot of those things, those documentaries, I've seen already somewhere else. You know, with Spookies, just like how they said, this is the only place you could see it. Unless you go on YouTube and look up Spookies documentaries, I don't even know if that was out there in the wild before they actually did that. So that's awesome. And then Spookies also, it's a random, doesn't make any kind of sense movie, but it's so entertaining. And I personally love it. And I love the slipcover, and I think the special features are awesome. And I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well, but I personally prefer the grain. And they just, man, it feels like, how many releases have they done this year? Like you know, or in the past couple years, I feel like it just gets released every year.
You got to bite in a chainsaw though. That's the newest hotness.
So which one?
That's a tough sell, man.
Chainsaw.
That's a tough sell.
That's crazy.
How big of a
You
fan?
didn't get
Are you guys getting that? That's a tough sell for me, man. And I'm
after
I'm a
never ending
huge
story, like
fan.
I'm done for the rest of the year. I haven't spent any money since I bought that.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. If you were around collecting when Black Maria came out, it was kind of the same thing. It was really, really high in price. I passed on it because I was like, oh my god, I own this movie so many times. Like, you know, I passed. But after like 6 months, that Black Maria set went really down in price.
Yeah, I thought that was available.
It dropped
like 4 or 5 years ago. It was still available.
It was probably still available. So, like, you know, I'm kind of looking at this and I'm just like, I don't know. Is there 5,000 people out there that are going to spend $300 on that set of something they already have, that second site or whatever?
No, I don't.
So I'm going to kind of just, will I ever get it? Sure. If that goes down in price, I'd probably pick that up.
Warehouse full of chainsaw.
You know? Yeah, I mean, I would love to have it, but not for $300 because when you take out everything that's in there, you know, you're basically paying $200 for a mini chainsaw. Basically,
don't they have that chainsaw at Spirit Halloween? Isn't that the same?
Yeah, this one's small.
And it's like $20 in store.
I don't know. It's a little chainsaw that you get with this one. It's not that big.
Yeah.
It's like a mini chainsaw.
It's
so I
to be
mean,
a replica.
Yeah,
the one in Spirit's like 200.
Yeah.
For who? Hornswoggle? Who's it supposed to be?
I gotta put that replica up against my replica Neverending Storybook when I get that. See how
I did order that too though, Ken.
Ooh.
I had to. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I just
don't love that price.
No.
I put myself on a spending freeze right after.
No.
Yeah. You pick up Opera too?
Uh-huh.
Who me? I got it, yeah. I'm waiting for my disc though to watch it. Aren't I supposed to get a disc or I don't know.
All right, KB, why'd you vote Texas Chainsaw?
It's the great box set. And the thing is, we're doing transfers here, right? I think everyone that has seen both transfers between that and Dark Sky has kind of said everything about it. And the feature on there, the full-length feature, that is, even if you've had multiple, it's like Evil Dead. It's like you have so many different copies of it, but then you start to look for what's new about this one. So what's new about this one is the transfer, and it is the special features like the full-length documentary. And that should have won like a Clio or something because it was really that good.
Yeah, I had to go with Texas Chainsaw just because I've seen the movie. It's a great classic horror movie, and I like when there's less grain in a movie. So if that movie looks a little bit sharper and cleaner, I'm a fan of that. I will take that. So, and then Spookies, it was a great argument, Aaron. You were really convincing me. I'm like, I kind of want to check out that movie now, but I don't know if it's going to be as great as Texas Chainsaw. So, yeah.
By the way, real quick, Aaron is the first person to convince me to get a Vinegar Syndrome title. By the way.
You got that one ordered now? You got Spookies in the car?
It won't come with
Shout
the
out
flip,
to-
but they have it on sale for like $13 all the damn time because they can't sell Spookies. But I do want to buy it now because I've never heard a good word about Spookies until Aaron talked about it, for sure.
The documentaries alone, man. Seriously.
Those documentaries really can make the actual film experience better.
Right.
Damn.
All right, let's go ahead and change it up for the third round here. I think that's new, right? Everybody got a new competitor. Awesome.
Yep.
All right, so round number 3. It's going to be worth 3 points each. It's box sets, collections. If there's sequels in one packaging, that counts as well. Okay, so box sets, collections. All right. Oh, and just to do a score recap, Second Sight really cleaned up that last round. So Second Sight has 7 points. The Vinegar Syndrome's 2 points. But once again, anything can change in the third round. I will encourage both sides to once again pool movies I've actually seen. That will be helpful.
I don't know.
Or you got to do a really good job on the convincing, okay?
Oh, no.
Good luck, Vinegar Syndrome.
Shit.
Hey, no, Vinegar Syndrome has some movies I've seen, right? So you know my taste. So, all right, let's see. So we had Vinegar Syndrome start last time, right? Or was it Second Sight?
I think Second Sight did.
The Second Sight, right? Okay, so we'll go back to Vinegar Syndrome. All right, Brian, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
All right. So this box set highlights one of a legend in blaxploitation, Mr. Rudy Ray Moore. Dolomite. You might know him more as Dolomite, but the films of Rudy Ray Moore consist of Dolomite, The Human Tornado, P.D. Wheatstraw, and Disco Godfather. This is just blaxploitation at its finest, guys. I don't know if you guys are into that genre at all, but this is a fantastic set. You know, it's one of those that pulls off the top. It's got the stars, the American flag going on there. When Vinegar Syndrome first put these out, they put them out individually, and then they made that box set after the fact. So you got Dolomite there. You got The Human Tornado. P.D. Wheatstraw. And Disco Godfather. They're just highly entertaining films that I don't think anybody that knows too much, people that know Vinegar Syndrome just a little bit, or not so much, they don't really know too much about them releasing these films. And nobody really talks about it enough. And I just feel like they get overcasted a lot. And it's a terrific box set with a terrific set of films. I don't know. Any of you guys check this one out? I know Aaron has.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic set. Rudy Ray Moore was a comedian that was really famous for his spoken poetry that he did within his like stand-up comedy. So when you're watching Dolomite and all of a sudden he's walking and he just out of nowhere does this kind of like this spoken poem thing, it was a throwback to his stand-up stage. So there's only actually 2 Dolomite films. There's Human Tornado and Dolomite, but the other 2 films are actually really fun films. There was that one documentary. There was the Eddie Murphy movie on Netflix recently, kind of talking about Rudy Ray Moore, which was a fantastic introduction for people that haven't seen these. But as far as these films go, they're just fun, like, kind of classics. And the thing is that some blaxploitation will go deep into the like exploitation super part of it, but this one has that sense of humor that kind of takes off the edge of what like some people may not find great about blaxploitation. This actually kind of gives a bit more, in a weird way, a bit more gravitas and a bit more to the type of film that it is and where its place in history.
Yep. They're hilarious films and top of my Vinegar Syndrome shelf.
I almost bought that during a sale because it was $14, and then I realized it was just the box. I like that. 14 bucks for 4
$14
movies? Damn. Oh, that's just the box.
All right. Jake, what do you got?
Well, Second Sight doesn't really have a lot of like box sets that house a lot of movies in one box set. Or if
No,
they
they don't.
do, if they do, I don't have any. So I was kind of like a pit hitter in this fight. So the box set that I have, my favorite box set, kind of head to toe, like toe to toe with Dawn of the Dead, would be Possessor. I'd love the artwork that is on this sucker. There is a 4K release of this already, but I feel like just the box set, the packaging alone makes me want to pick this one up. The discs on here are also a little bit different. They do a semi-different transfer, and this also includes a short film of Brandon Cronenberg's, which I absolutely love. That is a special feature. I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough when special features do get brought up. I love seeing like a full filmography as much as I possibly can. And if you're going to give me all of that stuff in one nice set, I will take it every time. I love looking at the artwork on this because it does showcase off different parts of the movie. Simple yet striking imagery really gets me a lot. Again, there's a lot of new interviews that they did specifically for this, new commentaries from Brandon Cronenberg. I think just as a package, you can't get much better. There's not a better release of this movie and just everything that it includes than this release is.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx.
So you said there was a short film in there as well?
Yeah, Brandon Cronenberg did a couple of short films before he made his first film. The one, what's it called? It's short films, Please Speak Continuously and Describe Your Experiences as They Come to You.
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful movie, and it looked fantastic too.
Yeah.
I hope they do Infinity Pool.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words from the teams? Oh, teams are confident in this one, I see. Okay. All right. Well, we'll find out. Judges, 1, 2, 3, reveal. Vinegar Syndrome. All right,
a lot of Possessor fans up in here. All right, I got it.
What possessed you to do that, guys?
I believe the blaxploitation one. That's another one. I mean, it's just such a rare genre to have such a great release like that, and all the different special features that it has and everything. Possessor, I like the movie and all. It was really good, but I have the standard release, and that release looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It has all kinds of really cool stuff, but I'm cool with my little standard release that I had. But that blaxploitation one, you can't get that anywhere else but there. It's really cool, at least nowadays.
Yeah, they sell them separately too.
Yeah.
I have the 2 Dolomite ones.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
It's nice to see that in a box set like that.
Yeah. They should have did that to start with, though. I don't like that they do that, though.
Yeah, that they did them individually.
Or that they just released a box later on, and then said, okay, now you could have a case to put them in. They should have did that from the get-go. But
Didn't they do that with what's the one with Reese Witherspoon?
Freeway
1 and 2. Then they make
which
it
one? Oh yeah. They started doing that, and then like with Amityville and Angel, they did the opposite. Now they're releasing standard.
Yeah, I had to go with Vinegar Syndrome because multiple movies, right? 4 movies in there. That's better than 1 movie and a short film. So it just seemed more of a complete box set, and the artwork looked nice. The box looked to be nice quality. So yeah, and Second Sight, they have some good boxes out there, but that one kind of looked a little slim. So
we are at a slight disadvantage when it comes to multiple movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you got nice boxes though. Bring out the big boxes. Like
I think we were judging the size.
I want to see some good boxes.
Yeah, unless somebody's got
that is a nice
ginger
release,
snaps.
That is a nice release. Oh yeah, break out ginger snaps, somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, is that day right there?
There we go. There we go.
Okay, well, Ken just just queued me up here, like a good teammate right there.
That's
so
beautiful.
this is a glossy butte. First of all, like I don't know if you can see it, but it is definitely very, very shiny. Besides that, it has some awesome artwork. This is the Ginger Snaps trilogy, which I know you can get like on Scream Factory, the individual films, but this is the definitive way to get these films because there's a lot of new special features on these sets themselves, also with like interviews with every single director who's directed these different types of films. I think every one of them but the first one, which is the one that most people have seen, that is stacked with special features. But obviously we're talking about the box set, and why this thing is so amazing is not just because of how it feels. It's because of the blood splatter that exists with it, the moon itself, of course, that werewolf trope. There's all those, and then there's the discs themselves, which has all these different homages to each of the films themselves, all three of them. And it also has this really amazing glossy art book right here, which has a hand and a wolf hand right here. And it comes with a bunch of really beautiful looking pieces of art in here, just stills from the film itself. And then just this is the type of it's almost like a magazine. That's the kind of stuff that I really like. And then of course, you also have the postcards that come with it as well. So it's a beautiful trilogy.
See, there you go. You have some collections in Second Sight.
This is going to be scary when he's going to put up against us. Yeah, this is going to be scary, whatever he's going to pull up against us, because that's a good one.
All right.
So I will say this. Ginger Snaps, I love it. I actually love all three of the movies. The first one being a favorite of mine. But you got to look at it from a collecting standpoint, and that release was a region B locked release, right? So for some people who do not go region free, they probably can't get that one and play it. They're gonna have to kind of wait and see what they can get over there, over here. But this edition I think is pretty damn cool, just because again, when it comes to horror, especially, I'm a completist. I like to have kind of everything. It might be great movies, it might be shit movies, but if it's part of a collection, I need it, right? So this one was one of those ones that I've always kind of wanted because they weren't readily available for a long time. And if you did find them on DVD, you had to pay a pretty penny for them because they were out of print for so long. So when they finally got released in this edition, and let's say you had the Scream Factory edition of the first three, that's Amityville Horror. You wanted to get this Cursed collection, with the remainder of the Amityville movies that you just didn't get. They weren't the ones that everybody knew. It wasn't part 1, 2, or 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4 movies that were taken over and given a new life. And what's kind of cool about these is that each one of these movies involves a cursed object. So that was kind of the theme of these 4 Amityville movies. That's kind of the direction that it made at that point. And this edition, which again is very, very cool because again, they're all housed together. It's got the house there. This is a real out-of-print edition, especially the box. So, I mean, you can still get the standalone editions, but to get them in this box is very out-of-print. And like I said, you do get 4 discs, in here as well for the movies. And these are the ones, like I said, that are not the most easily to come by as far as before this release was made. So this was a pretty big deal. And then when they re-released, I think the remainder of the boxes, I mean, it sold out so fast. And I think it's just one of those things that if you're completist when it comes to the horror collections and you have Amityville, this is the one to kind of get here. So just, again, Vinegar Syndrome bringing a new life to some of these lost movies that, being a collector from back in the day, you just always wanted. They were just, some of them were hard to come by, like About Time and Dollhouse. Those were hard to get for a long time. So when they put this out, it was kind of like, finally, I can add these to my collection. And you stack it right next to your Scream Factory box set, and you just kind of had the whole realm of Amityville movies at that time. I know now they've kind of gone a little bit all over the place, but at the time, those were kind of the 7 movies that you wanted. So that's why I brought this one to the table. It's out of print. It's kind of sought after. You get them all housed together. And it was 4 Amityville movies that, were pretty sought after for a while.
They're very fun movies too.
Yep. This is the closest one. This is the closest one that we've had so far. I just want to say that a lot. Sorry.
One cool thing with the Amityville set, by the way, is
quick statement.
Not a TV movie. And I'm a massive TV movie horror fan. The first of the Amityville Curse, because it's all based on one book, right? Like the Cursed Object thing. All 4 films based on a book. The first one was actually, I remember watching it, man, back in the day on TV. And it has got this weird lamp, the one with the lamp, right? And it is such a cool like film, like Patty Duke is in it for crying out loud, and all these actors that you wouldn't expect to be in these type of films. And the other three are fun, and the fourth one is insanely zombie. Dad is awesome. It's just a cool set, and as a guy that like longs for TV movies, TV to get more TV horror, because I think it's so much that's lost. And I'm so excited that we're finally getting to see that come out now this year. That it was so nice to see, like to get those movies there, but to get that one especially was just an extra special like bonus for me.
Dude, I want to be friends with you, man. I want to talk about Vinegar Syndrome with you all day long. Okay? You need to ask me.
For real.
So for me, this is the closest one. I think what's it called? The werewolf one. I feel like that one is just such a freaking masterpiece. The first one, I had just seen it for the first time when Scream Factory released it, and I was just like, wow, how did I miss out on this gem right here? This thing is a freaking gem. That box set, I didn't even know it existed, and it's freaking beautiful. Man, that thing is gorgeous. I've never seen that. And then Amityville, man, I love the Amityville movies. I have a fetish for 90s sequels. Horror movies. I don't know what it is, but the 90s, I feel like they just did sequels in a weird, cheesy way that I absolutely loved. I don't know what it is, but that box set is nothing but that to me. It just feels like that 90s, like made for TV, like you were saying, all of them kind of have that vibe. You know, every single one of them, just like, because they're straight to video. I don't know which ones were made for TV, but they were all straight to video. None of them were in theaters. And man, I just love that feel. So, and I remember also buying that box set, man, and opening that thing. I was just like, oh my, it was like looking at a Playboy magazine. It was beautiful.
I guess I will say on the Ginger Snap side of things, you get the complete trilogy. And I know Garrett was talking about having every single movie in a franchise. That isn't everything. And Vinegar Syndrome even released the original Amityville Horror and didn't put it in that collection. I know they don't have 2 and 3, and that would be kind of awkward. But when I want a box set, I want to have, like, if it's possible to have every single release from that franchise, I would much rather have that.
You know, and actually, you have a point too, because it's called the Cursed box set too. It didn't even have Cursed in it, so it wasn't a complete thing, but it was amazing to have, and it's a beautiful set. But you have a point there.
But Cursed actually isn't part of that. Like, Cursed really isn't even set in Amityville. Like, if you go back and watch it again, like it's set near Amityville, like a little ways away. Those two are based on a specific book.
Yeah. And I know this isn't necessarily an argument, but I know Garrett mentioned it earlier about like region locking and stuff. It works both ways. So like people who are watching in the UK can't get a lot of stuff in region A. So like to me, that's like I always am. I mean, obviously, I'm sure all of us probably here have a region free player of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Aaron, who's all the way across the world. You know,
I was just gonna say that too. Like, you know, if you're a collector, I believe all of us have region players. You know, so I feel like that for me, like, doesn't stray me away. But if like somebody's releasing it, like if you know Arrow and somebody else, or actually Arrow, I have to get it. But if somebody else is releasing it, the UK version and then American version, I'd rather get the American version. But if it's only UK, you know, I'm gonna get that.
Accessibility is the biggest thing for me. I think, and overall, I think as I'm getting older in this, for me, it's like limited edition stuff is really cool, but like at the same time, just having the movie itself like is really important. And so the more editions there are, the better, in my opinion. But that's just me. But anyway, I digress on this.
Sound like Mood 616. I digress.
All right, this is going to be a good one because my answer just changed in the last minute.
Oh man, hold on.
The judge may have influenced his answer.
3, reveal.
Oh yeah, KB.
Yeah, KB, cool. I thought I was gonna be the only weirdo picking this one, man. That was so close, though, you guys. That was incredibly close. I'm sorry.
What did it for me is I said in the beginning, I want to see some bangers, or I want to see some good hits, but I also want to be surprised. You pull out of print, you're surprising me. So that's what did it. But Ginger Snaps is good. I just was not expecting G to pull that out. So kudos.
Yeah, I had Vinegar Syndrome for the longest time just because it was a nice box right there. But then when Jake said Oh, it's an incomplete box set. Ginger Snaps is the complete franchise right there. I'm like, I hate incomplete box sets. I got to give it to Ginger Snaps.
like Aaron said, it isn't though, really, because it's its own thing.
Yeah.
So even though it's part of the whole thing, technically, it's like it's not part of it at the same time. So it's strange. It's hard to.
There's like 80 Amityville movies, so yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, Amityville Karen isn't in there, you know.
It's not in there.
It's not in there.
If it doesn't have Amityville Karen in there, I'm out. It's not getting that.
Pretty sure that's
What about Amityville Toilet?
my last girlfriend.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the only problem with Amityville's is that everybody has different rights to it because that movie, it's just literally, there's no copyright on it. Anybody can make an Amityville movie if they wanted to. So everybody has their own rights. So it's hard for somebody to just snatch all those things up and do that. So, I mean, it's been done, but I mean, that seems like a hard one for them. So I don't know, man. That one I'm a little bit biased, I feel like. I'm sorry. A little bit biased. But I love it.
I'm surprised Vinegar Syndrome got the first one to do the 4K because that really surprised me. Because, like you said, the rights are all over the place. It's like who has it this week, but they took advantage of having it long enough to make that 4K. So,
yep,
smart move.
I agree.
All right, Aaron, you're up.
All right. Okay. So I went old school when it came to the box sets as well. I was going to go with Forgotten Jolly first, but I changed my mind at the last minute because it's one of my favorite trilogies. And it's the Angel Collection. When this one got announced, like I was live streaming and when the clues come up, I read 2 sentences into the clue. I knew immediately what this was. This has all 3 films. This, of course, is the Donna Wilkes ones. We got Betsy Russell here. And if you open it up, we've got a Mitzi Capture. And these are fantastic films, and they're very different the way they're done. So we have the original Angel right here. And John Deal is in this one. He plays the killer. That's not a giveaway because you know the killer is in this one. But it's what people forget is this is a really damn good psychological thriller. It is so damn good. And it's a wonderful story. You know, this is the only one too where like Donna Wilkes was probably known for like doing the nude scenes. It doesn't do a nude scene in this film. It's guys going after like prostitutes. She's a high school student. She lives with this kind of like this street family that all live in this building. It's a wonderful film. Susan Tyrrell is in this one. We get the Avenging Angel with Betsy Russell comes in. It does it more like, when Texas Chainsaw came out and then Texas Chainsaw 2 came out and they thought, okay, we did about as good as we could with Texas Chainsaw. Let's make it kind of really tonally different, like comedic. Same with Evil Dead. Do this with Avenging Angel. So whereas this one is kind of a darker, kind of more serious, like street level film, Avenging Angel goes into a slightly more hijinks, wackier type of thing, while bringing back all the characters and keeping that emotional depth for the family. It's a fantastic film. The third one as well is one of my favorites. I'm a massive soap opera fan. Anybody that knows me knows that. And Ken Schreiner from General Hospital is in this, so that's a plus for that right there. Also, Maude Adams. If you're a James Bond fan, well, there you go. You got Octopussy in this movie here as well. They got some nice special features on here. It's the complete trilogy. I know some people are going to come back with, there's a 4th film for Showcase. That was a TV pilot. It wasn't a part of the actual like cinematic trilogy as a series. And these are such good films. And I can watch these. I can put these on at any time of day or night and just get so much out of them. Such great actors. Rory Calhoun, Susan Tyrrell, every actress that played Angel did a fantastic job. And this box set, it is stunningly gorgeous. No matter what side you look on, when you're opening up, when you're closing it up, you got Angel right there. And we see her growth. We see the character grow and become different. And I'm not sure if you've seen this. Hopefully you've seen this one because it's really worth seeing, especially. I like all 3 of these, but especially the first film. It is a killer, super underrated thriller with amazing character work. And the actors in these are incredible. Susan Tyrrell is the GOAT, so gotta love this.
Yeah. Why you gotta make me follow Aaron?
And I'm a big Betsy Russell mark, so that always helps too. So I love Betsy Russell. I mean, dude, honor student by day, Hollywood hooker by night. I mean, that alone should tell you, how cool this movie is.
Live that life before.
Look, I've got a really cool movie here. All right, this is a really cool movie, and since I'm going to be penalized for only having one movie, then I might as well just try to appeal to a certain judge's Martin Scorsese loving heart and go Mean Streets on 4K. Fantastic. This is a box set round, right?
Yes.
Yep. Look, that Angel box set was fantastic, but this is an incredible box set with some of the best artwork that I think Second Sight's ever done. It looks phenomenal right there on the side. Look at the font work. Incredible. Amazing. You got a big hardback book in here. You've got postcards. All right. It's got the Blu-ray. It's got the 4K. The transfer is incredible. And the box set. Look, that's a roundabout box sets. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful box set. And it's Scorsese. To my knowledge, Vinegar Syndrome does not have Scorsese in the collection, but Second Sight does. To me, I mean, come on. And this is one of his best movies, in my opinion. Every time I watch this movie, it moves up for me. This is like top 5 Scorsese films. Fantastic. Robert De Niro. Is Robert De Niro in Vinegar Syndrome? Harvey Keitel? I don't think
They got
so.
Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader? Yeah.
Harvey Keitel's in a Vinegar Syndrome release.
He probably is. He probably is. I don't think Robert De Niro is. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
You don't play fair, Ken.
But I think this is a fantastic box set. This is one that when it came out, I can almost guarantee you people that are fans of this movie, even though they bought the Criterion, they 100% ordered this one as well. So
I did not, and I have the Criterion.
I did not.
Nope.
So, but you wanted to, Mike. And this has a new feature that the Criterion does not have as well. So it is
What's
worth
the new
it in that
feature?
respect.
That's a wonderful
interview.
set.
It's an interview with the producer, and it's a fantastic interview because he goes into just how the movie was made and how they shopped it around the different studios and stuff. And it's a great feature. Way better than anything the Criterion had. See, look. Come on,
I love
Katie.
it. It's a wonderful set, and if that was the last round, 100%. But I'm still saying box it round. Just saying.
I'm sure the Angel films are wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful.
Have you seen them?
I have not. I've got the first one though. I need to watch it.
They are
It's
good.
definitely it's John Deal's really good in it. And the fact is, he's a killer that basically all throughout the film he doesn't say anything until the end of the film.
But Aaron, come on, let's be honest here. Are they Scorsese good?
Are they Susan Tyrrell good? Because I will put Susan Tyrrell up against anyone. Man. She's just she is the GOAT. Come on, Susan Tyrrell is amazing. Whether she's doing like Angel or Butcher Baker.
There's only one true GOAT, and KB knows this, and it's Martin Scorsese.
And that was a couple more Martin Scorsese movies on there, maybe. But you know,
Look, I don't have many options over here for multi-movie box sets. I just
Buttering
don't
up
have it.
KB over there.
Speed round.
So I had to do what I had to do there.
All right, judges, got our answers.
Where am I? There you go. Ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Damn you for making me vote against.
Yeah, baby.
Damn.
I know. I'm sorry, dude.
Shut out.
You know, that's actually one of the Martin Scorsese. I've never seen that movie, to be honest.
Bro, it's good.
Yeah, I need to watch it, man, because I love all of Martin Scorsese's movies that I've seen, but I've just never seen that one. So yeah.
Would it have been legal for me to pull the Dawn of the Dead box set?
I know you're saving
already
that
did
for
it?
later. Yeah, I think you're saving that.
No,
later.
I'm not. I wouldn't have shown it just now.
Yeah.
I'm saving it. I got something else.
You wouldn't get
That's
my
good.
vote pulling the same title, so that's just me though.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have tried to jam Taxi Driver inside that box and then.
Oh, that would be cool. Creativity.
Get my 4K on my Columbia Classic box set.
Yeah, make your own Marty Scorsese set right
Taxi
there.
Driver, Raging Bull. This is the
You could have snuck that book out and put the Taxi Driver Steelbook in there and been like, it's a collection.
Huck made his own box set. That
To be
was fun.
honest, I mean, there's only like actually 4 Second Sight things you could have
Right.
picked, really.
For collection box set. Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of them are out of print. Like
What has nobody got one? Doesn't have
Alexander Plots.
When a Stranger
Heimat.
Calls.
I do.
What's the other one?
Yeah, I got that one.
I do.
I'm into this side.
You guys are on the wrong team.
Yeah.
Flight of the
Yeah, but Mean
Navigator. I
Streets,
guess.
it's tough to win with Mean Streets because you have that Criterion one that came out. And so, do I really
Well, I
need that
mean,
second sight one?
go
And
back
to
to
me, it's
Nathan's
not a
point-
top 5 Scorsese title. To me, it's a bottom 5 Scorsese title. So.
We don't have as many options in general,
Yeah.
just because
No one
Second
had
Sight
the basket case
quality over
trilogy.
quantity.
I got the basket case seal book set too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Well,
We were
they
on
put
the
it.
wrong
By the way, guys, they also put it the best steelbook for Return of the Living Dead because Second Sight's edition of that actually has the original soundtrack, and none of the other versions, including Scream Factory, does.
All right, well, let's take a look at the scores here. Wow, Vinegar Syndrome cleaned up that round. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Vinegar Syndrome has 11 now, if I counted that. Yeah, 11 to 7. 11 to 7.
Oh, it's gonna be a tough round though, boys.
But the last round, 4 points each. Last round, 4 points each. Best overall. So you can pull anything here, right? Second Sight's like we're limited, but now you're not limited. You can pull anything you want. Second Sight. So all right, and let's go ahead and mix it up again. We will randomize. I'll just close my eyes a little bit. All right, let's move that around. All right, that was different than last round, right?
Yeah.
Not in the middle, right?
No, I'll face Aaron.
I think I had
We've all faced
Yeah,
that.
I'll go against Aaron again, but just let me talk first.
That's okay. There we go.
Get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny has been decided here. Okay, and since Second Sight's a little behind right now, I'll let you guys decide. Do you want to go first, Nate, or do you want to defer to Garrett there?
I'll defer to Garrett. See what he wants to say.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
baby. Okay. So this is what's the criteria on this one?
Best
It's like overall.
Best overall. You can talk anything here. You can talk packaging. You can talk the movie. You can bust out more box sets, collections if you want. Just best overall. What represents Vinegar Syndrome the best?
Oh, what represents them the best, or the best?
I would. I
edition
mean,
that they
I
have?
would count that with overall. I would. Just go with your heart. That's all you got to do. Go for your heart.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
5 slips.
I have 2 in here right now, and I don't. F it. I'm going to go with the one that's not going to win for me, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Okay. So I'm not going to say, some people are going to say, no, this wasn't the best packaging. They're going to actually not like this packaging at all. I think it's different. It's unique. But what I want to talk about this movie is, obviously being a movie lover for such a long time and being a collector for about 20 years now. And, in the 90s, really growing up, like at the theater every weekend. I mean, every new movie that came out, I was there, at midnight, seeing all these horror movies. And for some reason in 1999, this movie just kind of passed me by, and then becoming a collector passed me by again. And I really didn't know anything about this movie. I remember the logo, but I wasn't really sure. I think I saw it on the shelves at Blockbuster or something, but I just never rented it before. And I love this director so much. So when this was released by Vinegar Syndrome, I said, you know what? Like, what is that? Like, I can't believe I don't have this in my collection. I have every one of this guy's movies. So I bought it, and I absolutely fell in love with this. It feels so 90s. It was different. It was unique. And this is David Cronenberg's Existenz.
Oh, Harry Belly button.
Look at that, Harry. But what's nice about it? It feels nice too. Like it feels furry here, and then it's got the the embossedness there to the logo. Then on the back, look at that there. Look at. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to this, like you get a nice hard box here, then it comes out, you get the slip there. Again, I know a lot of people have some issues with the design, but look, with going back to video games, it's got that body horror remote there on the back. It's a 4K. It's got a lot of stuff on here, a lot of features. I mean, this is definitely the best I think this has ever had, because I didn't own this at all. I had never even seen this until this edition came out. And you've got, a book that talks a lot about the movie. And again, being a big Cronenberg fan, I don't know how this passed me by for so long. It's got Jennifer Jason Leigh in here. I'm a huge fan of her as well. So putting this in for the first time, I was completely blown away. I loved it. And again, I'm bringing this to the table where I think I had a safer bet here, but it just goes to show what Vinegar Syndrome does. It brings out some of these movies that maybe, aren't complete classics, but are becoming more classics to specific people because they're giving them new life. And I think that's the one thing that Vinegar Syndrome is able to do is they'll put out the classic stuff and people will buy it, but then they'll put out other things that maybe slid under the radar for some people. And all of a sudden now they just give it a new life. And I think that's the one thing that Vinegar Syndrome really does with some of these movies is they bring a new audience to this movie. They polish these things up really nice. And sure, Vinegar Syndrome's like a 50-50 company where if you're going to blind buy something, it's either going to be a gem that you wished you knew about forever, or maybe something you're never going to put in your player again. But this one, to me, to find something after all this time that all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I don't know how this passed me by, because if I would have seen this 15 years ago, I would have loved it just as much as I do now. And it really just feels and brings me back to 90s. And that's Existence. So I'm not sure if anybody has this or what they think of this movie. I'm sure some people probably love it. Some people probably don't like it at all. But I think this is just one of those movies that Vinegar Syndrome, again, exposed a longtime movie lover and collector. And again, to a movie that it boggles my mind that I missed out on this for so long. So that's going to be my pick. It's going to be Existence. And I think this is the best editions it's ever had.
Definitely.
Well, you heard me. I 2 thumbs up for me because our flesh guns, right? That movie is so much fun, and I agree. But I guess going back to overall release, and I actually don't want to choose something that has already been chosen. I actually want to kind of pick something that represents to me why Second Sight is so special. Obviously they put out a lot of these titles over here that are, really well known, more modern titles, but they also, can find hidden gems. Obviously, we have The Hitcher coming out, which has been one that has been wanted for a long, long time. So I'm not choosing that, obviously, because it's not here, but I actually am going to choose Martin from George A. Romero right here.
Oh, no.
R.I.P. right there. But Martin right here is a once lost film, a film that was not around, or at least they thought it was lost. It's a great George A. Romero film, one of his more B-side movies, I would say, but it is just a great indication of like the preservation and the hard work that Second Sight puts into their releases, because first of all, like I said, this was a lost movie. The other thing too is they did a 4K scan of this, of the 35 millimeter with the DOP. And they also did a 4K and a Blu-ray on this, along with some commentary from George A. Romero, Tom Savini himself as well. There's actually multiple commentaries on here, and also some just really good extra features in general. But I again, like I'm saying, Second Sight is really known for the quality of work that they put out. And even if it's something that is like a lost gem like Martin, something like this is actually a good representation of what kind of effort they're going to put into their titles. And like I said earlier, they only put out a thing maybe once a month, maybe 2 a month. And to me, I think that's really special, especially in the flood of stuff that we get today. Personally, for me, it's overwhelming because I don't have the pocket money for all this stuff. And so to pick and choose something like this is a good representation of a label that I really trust, and one that I can really go and dive into, even if it's something I've never seen before.
Oh, great arguments on both sides there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Martin. That was an amazing release. To be honest, that's another one that I never even heard of before that they announced that. And when I dig into it and seen what all the special features and all the information that they had about George A. Romero and everything else like that, it was just really, really neat. That's an amazing release.
All right, teams.
That's 2 fantastic films.
It's a tough one. Cronenberg and Romero.
All right, judges, we ready? All right. Oh man, this is tough. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Shit.
Second Sight. Yep. All right.
I love that movie, by the way, Garrett.
Good job, Nathan.
Thank you. Martin's great too.
that was a hard choice because you got two masters, two great releases. Yeah, I'm with everyone else. I didn't hear about Martin before that release, and pleasantly surprised. And it is a full package deal: transfer, features, packaging, whole nine. So definitely, same thing with extends too.
It was the hairy belly button, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, kind of freaked me out.
That was the problem.
That's the whole reason why I bought it.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of the movies. I don't have either in my collection, but something about that Martin cover just looked really cool. And Nate, how you presented it, I'm like, this lost film. Ooh, I want that. I want that a little bit.
I'm a bigger George A. Romero fan than I am a David Cronenberg fan. So yeah, gotta go there on that one.
All right, so let's go to the next round right here. So let's have let's go. I think Jake. We'll have Jake start.
Okay. I'm also kind of going with my heart on this one. I was very tempted to do The Guest because I love that set so much. But I'm going with more of a reason why I love Second Sight so much. I'm kind of diving a little bit into their history. And I'm going with a movie that Aaron talked about, The Return of the Living Dead. This steelbook is phenomenal. But what I think is most phenomenal is the disc on the inside. You might be thinking, why did you pick this? Because Scream Factory has the Blu-ray and now the 4K, and they even have a 4K steelbook. This release came out in 2012, and I would say Scream Factory stole 90 to 95% of the special features that were on this release and just threw it on theirs. This was a UK exclusive release. This is a Region B release. I love the imagery on the front here. The back has all of the info, over 5 hours of special features, including More Brains, which was the first time it was ever printed to disc, was on this release. One of the best making of documentaries I have seen. This thing is just stacked with great special features. And honestly, I think that's the main reason why I love Second Sight in the first place, is because they put a lot of love and care into their releases, and they just they put the time in. And this disc is absolutely loaded. This steelbook is absolutely beautiful, and I think it was the first release I ever got of Second Sight, and I didn't even realize it was a Second Sight release when I got it. So,
all right. Anybody have anything to say on that one?
Spooky,
beautiful
release. Steelbook.
It's a fantastic film, and if I was on the other side, I'd definitely be one. It'd be one of the ones that'd be in my choice of films to choose. This is based on like the company itself, like what really represents the company, right? So Vinegar Syndrome started out as a restoration company, and they went on to do crowdfunding, and eventually would go on to like do a lot of different films. And one of the things that they became known for was to bring out things that nobody would think of, but not just things that nobody would think of, but nobody else could get. And this film here is the definition of a film that for the longest time, nobody could get. It got a early release, I think, over in Australia. It got like, I think maybe an early Criterion, but the rights were lost, and the rights holder just wouldn't give them up. And there was never a good release of this film ever put out until this came out. Paul Morrissey's Frankenstein, or Paul Morrissey's Flesh for Frankenstein, was a literally the example of a cult classic, and exactly what Vinegar Syndrome is known for and should be known for. Amazing restorations, incredible work, inside and out. And just to let you guys know, see, this thing was originally done in 3D. If you were lucky enough to see this in the theater in 3D. And the neat thing is, here we got it right here, Flesh for Frankenstein, the actual 3D edition of the film, like you would have saw it in the theater. You open it up. There's the disc there. It actually had some glasses, but it's real 3D too. So it's you get the real 3D aspect of it. So if you got a 3D TV or or PlayStation VR, you can watch it on 3D as well as giving you like this edition right here, which again is the Blu-ray edition for Flesh for Frankenstein, loaded up with a ton of special features. And you have to understand, this movie was something that nobody could get out. It was impossible. And the year that Severin put out Blood for Dracula, which is the companion film to this one right here, it was a deal done between Joe Rubin from Vinegar Syndrome, David Gregory, and Paul Morrissey. And one of the key things, and I love this, is that Paul Morrissey said, okay, you can do this, but this can't be Andy Warhol's Frankenstein anymore, because, you know, Andy Warhol's name was put on this. It has to be my name. I directed the film, and every time I see this film mentioned, it says Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. And it's not Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. It's my Frankenstein. It's a fun, wonderful cult film. Udo Kier is in this and is absolutely amazing. In this film's one of the most quotable films. If you know the line, the gallbladder line, you know the gallbladder line. Something you forget. But it is Vinegar Syndrome in a box. It's literally what Vinegar Syndrome is. It is excellent restoration. It is true to life of what the film should be, showing it on regular flat Blu-ray as well as 3D Blu-ray, the way you would have seen it in the theater. The packaging, I think, is absolutely phenomenal for this type of film. And it's Vinegar Syndrome. It's everything that Vinegar Syndrome encapsulates in a box. And not only that, it was impossible to find. They put out something that nobody thought could ever come out, and they definitely didn't think anybody was ever going to put this out with a 3D release. It seemed like an impossibility. So Vinegar Syndrome literally went into the jaws and came out with this one right here. I think it's kind of like nowadays, for instance, Severin's putting out a few of the Russ Meyer films that are absolutely, you know, nobody thought were going to come out again. I got the Russ Meyer, you know, the Arrow box set, the one that came out years ago. And it's amazing to see the fact that they're finally able to get like films in the Russ Meyer set. And this is like that. These were lost. These were films you could not get. These were films that it was infamous that he did not want to let go. But not only did he let go, he just let them dive into this and put so much love and care. And having this in my collection, it's a special thing for me.
All right. Judges, are we ready?
Ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Okay, B. You're fired.
All right, so where I'm at with that is that the Fletcher Frankenstein, I think that's a beautiful release. I love Udo Kier. I've seen his career grow, seen him in that movie, and seen how different he looks from then to now. It's just incredible. So it's really cool to see his growth and everything like that. And I did like the gore in that movie, but it's not my favorite movie. But Return of the Living Dead is my absolute favorite movie in the entire world. For me, that is probably the most quotable movie in the entire world. I used to watch that. I think the first time I seen that movie, I was like 5 years old or something, and we just, ever since then, me and my cousins just watched that movie over and over again. We just would quote it all day long. That's a masterpiece of a movie to me. The special effects in that movie, that steelbook is the sexiest steelbook I think I've ever seen. Those red colors with the black background and those it just pops so beautifully. Yeah, I'm second that all the way on that one.
They made everything that you said, but I just want Aaron to see. I just added it to my wish list. You convinced me. I know I can't find the other one, but I'm definitely going to get that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I went with Vinegar Syndrome right there because Aaron just sold the heck out of that one.
Sure
and
did.
Also, yes. Return of the Living Dead. Even though I've seen this one, I've seen that movie. It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. I've seen it released from other studios with like Scream Factory and all of that. So,
right. Is that the companion?
Yep, Blood for Dracula.
Really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I was so sure of myself when I came into this round, and then he put out the Return of the Living Dead. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna win this round. That was a good choice.
The Scream Factory release is great, but they kind of picked the bones of this release, and it came out 4 years later. It's
missing songs too. Scream Factory release is missing songs. They had to change songs for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I liked about the Scream Factory's bonus features is when they were showing like the locations of how they changed now and stuff like that. That's the only thing that I liked that they added on the Scream Factory one.
Was that on that one, Jake?
I don't believe so. I think that was made after this Blu-ray came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was made by Shout Factory.
Yeah.
All right, so it comes down to the final round here.
What's the score, Mike?
Maybe it comes down to the final round because let's look at it.
think it does.
Let's see. We have for Vinegar Syndrome, we have 11 points. Let me zoom in actually so you guys can make sure I'm not cooking the books here. All right, Vinegar Syndrome, we have 11 points. Second Sight, we have, what is that, 15? So if Vinegar Syndrome wins this round, we go into a tiebreaker. If not, Second Sight wins.
Ooh.
So
Crazy.
wow.
You got this, kid.
I'll put the pressure on me and Brian. Why
So
don't you?
yeah. Can Vinegar Syndrome force a tie here and we go into overtime? That's the question.
Wow. Space Jam.
All right.
I'm with it, Kenny.
Well, Ken, you're starting off.
All the
here, so
pressure's
what
on
do you got?
Brian, really, because if I lose the round, we go into a tiebreaker. But Brian loses, you're done.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. Am I ready to go? Starting up?
Oh, Ken's going first, right?
Ken's going first.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I going?
Yep.
Okay. So I went with my heart on this as well, just like Jake. This is a release that when it was announced, I was just over the moon because I discovered this movie on Netflix, I think back in 2015, and it became like one of my new favorite movies. And this is such a stunning release. It's a great transfer. It's a great film. And I just love it so much. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. And that is Adam Wingard's The Guest.
Yes.
On 4K.
Love that movie.
I think that this best represents where Second Sight is at this point in time. They're still doing classics, but I feel like they've really honed in on the modern horror classics and really given those movies attention. And some people would argue they don't need the attention. But I like that they're giving these movies the attention and really making them feel important. Movies from the last 10 years, like The Guest or It Follows, which I could have pulled as well. Another fantastic release, Green Room, Possessor, like these independent horror movies that are getting this awesome treatment. And I think that Second Sight is doing a phenomenal job with that. And The Guest is one of the top examples, in my opinion. Spectacular movie, spectacular release. I think this has the best artwork, in my opinion, of any Second Sight release. You got Dan Stevens on the front. You got Mac and Monroe on the back. So nice booklet inside. It's got the Blu-ray. It's got the 4K. And another thing that we haven't really touched on with Second Sight versus Vinegar Syndrome is Second Sight usually puts their special features on the 4K, whereas Vinegar Syndrome, it's on the Blu-ray. So you got to switch discs if you want to watch the features, you know. So if you're feeling extra lazy, you're done watching your Second Sight 4K, you can just transfer right over to the features. And this has great features. Another thing I like about these super special editions of more modern movies is that you get more people that were involved in the film that are available to talk about the film. So you have Adam Wingard, you have Simon Barrett, the writer, just getting together to talk about the movie for like a half hour, 40 minutes. And Second Sight seems to really let their features breathe. Like they give those features a good amount of time. You have a great feature with Dan Stevens, great feature with Mac and Monroe. And this, to me personally, I know KB asked why I pulled Drive at the beginning. It's because I knew this one was going to be my overall, because it is my overall favorites. I think The Guest is the best release that Second Sight has done. So there you go.
All right, Brian.
Well, you know, like you said in the beginning of this round, go from your heart. And this is one that definitely goes from my heart. It's one of the first movies Coco and I watched as a couple, so it means a lot to me. This came out in January 2020. Before the VSU line even came out, that came out late, like November, December the same year. But this is going to be Taming the T-Rex. It means a lot to me. I know I'm hearing some boos and stuff, but Denise Richards and Paul Walker in here. This is the first time you've ever seen this movie since the VHS days, and it's the first time it's ever been put out with uncut footage the whole way. It was PG-13 before, and this version has the hard R rating, and it's full of gore. Got some great effects in here. You have a cool lenticular cover as well. You also have Sean Whalen's in here. You got Terry Kaiser from Weekend at Bernie's is in here. It's just an overall fun movie. If you ever seen Paul Walker, he dies in this movie and comes back as a fucking T-Rex. It's great.
Hell yeah.
But this has some great features on it too. It's got a Denise Richards interview with Sean Whalen. It's got the full-length PG-13 cut in here, so it's got both cuts of the movie in here. It's just stacked, and it's just one that, you know, whenever Coco looks at the Vinegar Syndrome shelf, this is the one that she wants to pull out every time to watch. But I tell her we got to watch something different every time. But you know, it's just, I love the new designs art in here. This art kills it. It's just one that's always going to be near and dear to me, and that's why it's my number one pick. And it represents the Vinegar Syndrome brand pretty well too.
I also didn't point it out, but the second side of the guest also does have the soundtrack in there as well.
Good soundtrack.
Yes,
yeah, great soundtrack.
Just like Severin.
Wow.
I didn't know they put CDs in there. Like Severin, I didn't know that. Second side. That's cool.
On select ones, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe all the Hans BRs has a folk horror CD. So
that's cool.
Those are two great picks, actually. I love actually both of those films.
Mhm.
I guess it's a fantastic film. Tammy the T-Rex. What I love about this, and why I think it's so Vinegar Syndrome, is it is the most wonderfully whiplash in a box, because you open it up and you've got like this PG kind of family friendly version of this film, and you can put that on when the kids are around type thing. And then when you go to bed, you're like, okay, let's put on the hard R version of Tammy the T-Rex, and all of a sudden it's gore splattered, and it is fun. Terry Kaiser's amazing in that film, and Terry Kaiser's amazing. He's who doesn't love Terry Kaiser, right? But you know, two fantastic films. But yeah, as for choosing like what really hits as Vinegar Syndrome, Tammy the T-Rex really does. And it was, if I remember correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, this wasn't that their first 4K that they did it at the time?
Yeah, their first 4K.
It was a nice way to start.
Well,
They really felt strong.
wait. Did Rad come out before that or no?
No, afterwards. Rad was when they kind of started to become like more mainstream, because it brought in like people that like didn't normally go for Vinegar Syndrome. And I remember people like there's a whole website just for Rad itself, right? Like for Rad fans.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
was wondering if Vinegar Syndrome was a legit site or if this was another one of those Rad bootlegs out right there. So which is
Rad came out in May.
That was what year? What?
This was January, but 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love to blind buy movies to kind of get that feeling of going back to the video store, just going to your collection, picking something out, and hoping that it's good. And sometimes it's not. I would say a lot with Vinegar Syndrome titles. I buy a lot of blind buy stuff. Usually nips me in the butt more than it doesn't. The Guest is one of those rare, perfect examples to where I knew nothing about the movie before I bought it, and it just completely blew me away. I had no idea what the movie was even about, and that movie is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. And I feel like you can kind of say that a little bit more with Second Sight's catalog, is that they have a very their genres are broad, but you can still kind of go to the collection and pick something out, and you kind of have that Second Sight stamp of approval on it almost. And I feel like The Guest is a very solid choice to kind of state that.
All right. I do have an important question. What were the prices when those releases came out? Does anybody know what the price was of that Guest set and also of the Tammy and T-Rex set?
Tammy and T-Rex is like 36.
36? Okay.
I would say it was at least 50.
I know The Guest you can get in the standard release though, in just like a clamshell case.
Yeah.
Two versions of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same one, obviously, Tammy and the T-Rex with no slip cover. So
yeah.
But cost shouldn't play a factor. We haven't talked about cost the entire night.
Last
Now it's
round.
like cost.
When we get to the toughest decision,
I remember.
this is the toughest
You're talking
choice for me. I've been back and forth so much on this one. So,
remember, cost outweighs the multiple
I
amount.
mean, Brian has a nice slip cover with that, but this is a box set. If I got the standard release, it would have been like probably what 26,
30,
27,
30.
30,
32.
This is Paul Walker pre-Fast and the Furious, you know.
It's got that hilarious fight scene too, by the way. Just
It does, yeah.
Yeah, grab it all.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
Showing Paul Walker die before he actually died. Bad
Oh
taste.
shit!
Bad taste.
Oh,
But to bring it back
you
to
didn't say
dinosaurs,
it.
hope is hope, right?
You think they knew in the '90s that he was going to die that young?
Foreshadowing.
Simpsons.
All right,
Opinion.
judges, we got to vote.
So
Yep.
wait a minute. Before we
Oh,
do,
all right.
you're saying second sight wins this round. It's a tiebreaker.
No, if Vinegar Syndrome wins, we go to a tiebreaker here. Vinegar Syndrome wins. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Oh, jeez.
There it is. Here we go.
Oh, my God. The guest
Go
lost
right
to
to the
Tammy and the
tiebreaker.
T-Rex.
Go right to the
Jeez.
Tammy and the
tiebreaker.
T-Rex.
What's going on?
I gotta
To-
see
to-
that movie. Tell Coco.
It's probably my favorite blind buy. My favorite blind buy that I've ever done. And it even has the leader from Children of the Corn in it. And if anybody knows me, I named my son Isaac because of the leader from Children of the Corn, not from anything else. So it's like so many things in there that gore. I actually used to watch that movie. I know somebody said it was like younger kids put on the PG-13 version. Well, me and my 6-year-old son used to watch that movie over and over again. And I would cover his eyes for certain parts. Certain parts I'd cover his eyes, but he was just like me. He loves that gore stuff, man, and it was really cool. So that was mine in his movie, man. That for sure. That one is amazing.
I have my 2 cell stock stack over here, and because of Ken's love for this movie, this is on there. So
It's amazing. Yes. The Guest is a phenomenal movie.
And that Blu-ray went out of print, I think, right before that second sight came out.
oh, so I could get a pretty penny for it.
And then they did another one, I think, in 2022, though, Universal.
The 4K transfer is phenomenal too, Gaby. It looks very sharp.
Yeah, that was a tough choice because I do like the Guest
Lenticular
movie.
always prevails.
The lenticular was really nice. That was really nice, but also the
But
movie
the comic
was
books
great
are
as
on
well.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
alternative Slippy
11
right there. So
I will say this: I thought The Guest was going to take it home just because it is such a great film, and I'm kind of in the same boat as I think Jake and Ken is. When that was released on that first edition that KB held up there, it was a blind buy for me. I can remember when I bought it at Best Buy. The only reason I bought it was because it had some kind of connections to things like Drive with the music, and it also had Micah Monroe in it too, which at that point I had known her. What the hell was it? Must have been It Follows.
It Follows, and the Guest came out the
between
same
the
year.
two. I was like, I'm going to check this out, and I had no idea what I was getting into because I feel that first edition doesn't really give you any, like, it's a weird looking edition that I never did justice for that movie, because when I did put in for the first time, I was completely blown away by just the whole thing. The music, the way it was filmed, the story, I loved it. And I always kind of thought that never did it justice, that edition. And when they announced this new edition from Second Sight, I was like, all right, this is going to put this movie on the map for most people, because I felt like I was kind of on an island alone with that one for a long time. So yeah, it is. If anybody hasn't seen that out there, I mean, it's definitely a really, really cool movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all right, so time to get into overtime. Bonus round. Just gonna be one round. So who wants to represent Second Sight? Who wants to represent Vinegar Syndrome for the last overtime?
What's the category?
Just best overall again.
Oh, Nathan, I think you got like all the box sets over there. I think it's got to be you.
I nominate Nathan.
Nathan is our nominee.
Aaron, you feel like selling one more time, man?
I can go for it.
How's that sound?
All right. So Aaron's gonna be on Vinegar Syndrome. Okay. So let's go to Vinegar Syndrome first this time then. So Aaron, you're up.
All right. So I want to pick something that I think is actually, I'm going to go weird. I'm going to pick actually really quality film over anything else. And because it's one of the reasons that I love the company. And it's Fade to Black.
Nice.
Fade to Black is one of my favorite films. Not just my favorite Vinegar Syndrome films. This is one of my favorite films. So this stars Dennis Christopher, and he plays a obsessed film geek in it. He loves films, and he kind of goes over. He's like us, right? But just he goes slightly over the edge, and he starts to dress up like his favorite film characters. And he starts out as an accident, but he starts to kill people. And it has this wonderful it kind of goes back and forth with with film clips. Young Mickey Rourke is in this film, by the way. So yeah, we got Mickey Rourke in Vinegar Syndrome as well. And this is such a wonderful, beautiful film. This is there were alternate slip covers for this one as well. This is what the alternate slips looks like. Have it upstairs. The features on here are absolutely fantastic, and I think it's one of the best movies, like bar none, just best films that they ever put out. Dennis Christopher is such a wonderful character actor, and as a guy that was going into acting myself, I just think that he just makes so many really great choices in this film. There's an actress in this, and I will apologize because I can't remember her name right now, but she plays a girl that looks like she's an Australian actress, and she looks like Madonna. Not sorry, looks like Marilyn Monroe, and she's just so wonderful in this film. Everything about this film I love, from like its opening sequence to the way that he dresses up as the characters, and it's kind of some people went in actually were kind of peeved with this film when it initially came out because they thought this was going to be a slasher movie, and it is this like psychological thriller, and it is so engrossing from like opening to the ending. It's got a wonderful transfer. It's the best this film has ever looked. It is one of the best films that Vinegar Cinema's ever put out. And they put out movies like, they put out like Patty Hearst with Paul Schrader. They put out a lot of fantastic films, but put out The Collar, which is another kind of like really underrated film that I think Vinegar Cinema did. But Fade to Black just hits it as just such a wonderful, fantastic film. If you love movies, you're perfect. There we go. You get Fade to Black, because this is like when you like Cinema Paradiso, which is a wonderful film for people that love movies. Fade to Black is a wonderful psychological thriller for people that love cinema, and I just love everything about it. Christopher rocks it. This film's amazing. The special features are incredible. The slip covers are amazing, and it's everything that a great Vinegar Syndrome title should be. It should be something that some people don't know that you can come to, and like Jake mentioned about like the blind buy. When you want a blind buy, you want this to be in the blind buy. You want this to be the thing that you find, and it's a wonderful find. It's probably one of the best Vinegar Syndrome, and it's just an amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great blind buy too. Yep.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I want to buy that movie, but it's out of print. Like I knew that was going to be like a good blind buy, and it bums me out that I don't have that in my collection because
Hopefully it comes out again, because I know from listening to you tonight, I know you definitely like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of print. I feel like I bought that not too long ago.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was in print for a lot longer than I thought it would be. I think the slipcover sold out pretty quickly, but the standard edition I think held on for a little while.
Mine's over there.
Yeah, but yeah,
all right,
100%.
Nate.
Well, so it's hard to pick something that we've already not talked about, but since Aaron kind of mentioned it in terms of like favorites from the label itself, I'm also going to kind of go about that in my sense of my favorites. And actually, this is the film that got me into cinema, like to the current spot that I'm at now. And it was actually my first Second Sight film, and it's actually one of my favorite films of all time. It's In Bruges. Ooh. So In Bruges is one of the best debut films of all time. And I honestly think that this is a film that, if anyone's not aware of this movie, it's a black comedy action thriller of sorts, with Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, and Ray Fiennes. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know all those people. But they're all terrific in this film. And this movie in particular is just one of those movies that I found myself wanting to understand more and more of it as I was watching it. The first go around, I was like, okay, this is a really fun kind of black comedy. Is like it, I'm just coming off of watching Tarantino films, watching David Fincher films, things like this, and I'm starting to get a little bit further into the different types of directors out there. And then this Irish director came out of nowhere, Martin McDonagh, and he all of a sudden became one of my favorite directors of all time. He just made, The Banshees of Inisherin, which reunites all three of them together in a beautiful way. But this movie in particular, it's a movie that has so much soul and so much touch to it that I don't think people see the first time that they watch it, because they're like, okay, there's this curmudgeonous guy, and then there's this action, but it really is about not knowing what's coming up next. And that is one moment about life that I've been realizing about myself that I am starting to absolutely love, is like, hey, what is the next film I'm going to watch? What is the next thing I'm going to watch? Am I going to be surprised by this thing? I'm probably talking in very holistic things here, but this movie in particular is my first ever film that I bought from Second Sight that introduced me to this label to begin with. And it also has a plethora of special features on here too. It actually has Six Shooter, which is Martin McDonagh's first short film, which is a really great one. I think you can watch it on YouTube as well, but it's on here. And it really is just showcasing an artist possessing like why we love film, right? It really is just like a movie that expresses so much that I think each subsequent watch you watch with it is something new you'll find out about yourself. So in Bruges, that's going to be my choice for Second Sight.
All right, Nate, one question. Why would I pick that one up over the Kino Lorber one?
This title in particular has like I said, the short film on it, and it also has specific interviews directly with Second Sight people. That's
the
where
packaging too. Packaging's phenomenal on that sucker.
Kino's not exactly known for their special features, so
yeah, because I have both.
I'm sure
right
that
here.
one has
like
mountains
Or packaging.
Yeah, I have
or
both. Right
packaging.
here.
Yes.
Where's that?
You know what's funny? I've never even heard of that movie.
Oh, it's
Neither have I. Neither have I. I feel bad.
This is a great movie to go in blind.
Yeah.
You'll find something new about it every single time you watch it.
It's from the director of 3 Billboards too. That's the one he's probably most famous for.
Psychopaths. Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a Banshees of Inisherin box set, but I think that's Disney.
I think In Bruges is his strongest movie, though. I really enjoy that movie quite a bit.
Well, if you watch Banshees, this is like a good encapsulation of all three of those people, the two actors, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, and Martin McDonagh, because they're all together have worked. This is 10 years apart from each other. And so they've grown so much from these particular roles. And you can just see it on their performances and how much they love each other and how much they love working with each other, because it really does touch a lot to the human soul. That's something I would argue about this movie. So,
all right, judges, we got our vote.
For this being a bonus round, my God, it was.
I mean, like this is a great encapsulation. I like both of these because you got like In Bruges, which is a fantastic film, by the way, and Fade to Black, which are both movies dealing with
we picked Nathan and they picked Aaron for a reason
in and of itself. And that's the thing. You've got like the In Bruges got the amazing like features and packaging, the way that's done. Fade to Black is. I think really shows what Vinegar Syndrome can do at its absolute zenith, at the absolute highest point that Vinegar Syndrome can be, and it's a good way to end it. So,
This artwork is incredible, though. I find that it's really slick artwork.
I'm
talking about Kino Lorber just doing that poster versus
just barfed it out there.
Beautiful painted vignette of them on a bench. So,
and that's what Second Sight does well. They put great original artwork on their releases, man.
But I also love that Fade to Black a lot. So I get it.
All right, judges, we ready?
Ready.
It's tough. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Damn.
Second.
Dang.
That was close. That was.
So I feel bad. I've never even seen that movie. So, but Fade to Black, that one was like almost just an amazing surprise. Blind buy. Both slipcovers are amazing. I feel bad though because I've never seen that other movie, so that was kind of unfair.
I didn't know that was on Vinegar Syndrome. That's from like the early '80s, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's actually on my wife and I's watch list.
I've heard great things about it. I want to say
it's very good.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like you did Breaking Away before that. It's such a great like kind of follow up, but a very different follow up than Breaking Away. But I just love them as Christopher and in films and in of themselves. I'm actually surprised none of you guys threw out any of the like Inside or any of like the French Extreme stuff that came out there.
I did want to throw out Revenge. This is a fantastic set. But I couldn't figure out where to put it.
Behind me.
All right. Well, that means we do have a winner. Second sight, 19 points. The Vinegar Syndrome, 15. But wow, both of you teams put up a good fight. That was the toughest battle we've had yet.
I
Went
agree.
into overtime. First time that's happened in a boutique battle bash. I didn't even know you could do that.
They're,
And then
they're
it
two,
happened. So that was
they're
pretty
two
amazing.
phenomenal labels, and they're
Yeah.
very
That's
evenly
cool.
matched in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So,
Aaron
But
got more
there
spin
can
than
only
money.
be one. There can only be one. So, congratulations. You are the Boutique Battle Bash champions. We are totally not surprised. And you get to take home this amazing trophy, which I'll get your guys' icons on this in a little bit and sent out to you. You know, put it on your fridge or whatever. But yeah, congratulations. Second, that you guys feel good you won?
Kind of. Vinegar Syndrome is amazing. So
yeah,
I still beat the guest with Tammy and the T-Rex. So
yeah,
fuck
I'm
it.
a little sore over that still, to be completely honest. I'm happy I won, but
oh gee,
yeah.
I
And
know.
then you
I
had to
even
rub
had
it in
the
my
guest
face by
image
putting
right
a
there.
picture of Dan Stevens
already
on the
knew.
congratulations.
That was a great
Rubbing
battle.
salt in the wounds. But yeah,
All right.
good battle,
Well,
good game.
Thank you, panel members. Thank you, judges. This was a great boutique battle bash. Once again, thank you, audience, for watching the stream, enjoying it. If you haven't already, make sure you click that like button before you leave. Turn on the subscribe, turn on the notification bell. That way you're alerted when a new live stream posts, because we will be doing more boutique battle bashes. This is a whole big giant tournament. Hopefully over the year, we'll be able to get through all the different boutique labels, at least the major ones. I'm hoping next boutique battle bash will be Imprint versus Synapse. So we'll see if I can get enough people for that one. If you're interested in joining a boutique battle bash, hit me up on Instagram. Everybody in the community is welcome to join in, and we're always looking for players out there and fresh faces. So just hit me up on Instagram, and we'll get you here on a live stream. But yes, let's go around, and everybody can kind of let the audience know where to find you, what you got upcoming on your channel, all that fun stuff. So we'll start with the judges. KB, what do you got going on?
Couple of conversations to round off the week. So look for me on Instagram, and we'll let you know more information there.
Awesome. Vin.
Yeah, I'm kind of slowly coming back into the YouTube. I've been doing a lot of, I have the movie pass now for theater, so I've been going to see every movie as soon as it comes out. So I've been kind of doing that, dabbling a little bit. I'm working on a video now, but I'm also selling my collection. So if anybody needs anything, hit me up on Facebook, Benicio Santos.
I need spookies.
Do you have Fade to Black?
Bob bought Fade to Black. I'm not sure if I still have Spookies or if it's gone. I got to check.
Oh, Bob.
Leave it to Bob.
He got a lot. He got a lot.
All right, and then the second fight champions, Nate. What can people expect from you?
Yeah, so my channel is specifically Blu-rays with Nathan Jones. As the title suggests, I talk about that a lot, but I've lately been going on a film journey of my own. I've actually had a lot of these people on here on my channel before. Yeah, I just love talking about movies and just the things I've been watching. So you can check me out on that channel and on Instagram as well.
All right, and Jake?
Yep, Steelbook Obsessed on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube, I usually try to put out 1 to 2 specific videos, like long form videos a week. And I'm getting close to like that 10,000 mark. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'm about to hit 9. So we'll see how it goes. I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok last week. So that was kind of mind blowing. Yeah. Just if you're not following me, I'd appreciate a follow on anywhere, anywhere you want to follow.
All right. And Ken?
You can find me over at Mid-Level Media, where I talk about Blu-rays as well, specifically also just like Nathan, and 4Ks. I got a review for Bringing Out the Dead on 4K coming soon, and that's pretty much the only thing I can think of.
Just got that in the mail.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fantastic.
Garrett.
Yeah, you can find me over at Born to Be Rad on all the socials, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I just put out a video the other day talking about top 10 TV horror movies, made for TV horror movies, and it's gotten a lot of good reception that I'm going to do a follow-up that'll probably be posted Thursday or Saturday, and that's going to be top 10 creepiest kid movies of the 80s. So that's going to be kind of a follow-up to that one. And I'm going to be doing a show on Friday with the Rad Pack. It's my podcast, and I'm a co-host of that. And then you can find that at the Rad Pack Pod channel on YouTube and watch us live as we go through a retrospective on Mr. Fred Savage. So that'll be on Friday night on the Rad Pack Pod channel. So that's where you can find me, guys.
Will there be any mention of Ben?
Yeah, I was going to say bring his brother.
They could be a mention of Ben on there.
And Aaron.
Call to Cinema is my YouTube channel. It's been around for, well, next year it'll be 13 years. I love the weird, but I love like a lot of different stuff as well. October is usually a busy month for me. Recently I was lucky enough to be able to interview the guy that made the Caligula Ultimate Cut. And I got to speak with Asma El Madir, who recently did the documentary Mother of All Lies documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Yeah, check the channel. There's a whole ton of stuff on there. I will say right now, love these guys on here. They do amazing work. And if I'm not subscribed to your channel already, I will be after this because you guys just knocked it out of the park like crazy. And thanks a lot for having me in, guys.
And Brian.
Half of Brian Goes Blue and Coco 2. That's the channel name. Recently put out a video of over 100 VHS titles we accumulated for $40 on Facebook Marketplace. So that's a pretty cool video to watch. We're also going to a Spooky Empire convention, doing a horror, like a vlog of the convention in about 2 weeks. And then we do our movie trip review vlogs every time we go out to the movies as well. So just look out for more videos from us.
And audience, everybody's channel's links are in the description below or will be in the description below shortly after this video. So definitely check them out and watch their amazing content because they're all great content creators on here. But that's it from us, everybody. Have a good night out there and go watch some Second Sight and Vinegar Syndrome movies.
Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.